Well, there goes the Daverhood. Good morning, everybody, and welcome live on this Saturday, July 18th, 2020, to the 755th episode of the I almost had it. Almost had it. The long-running Facebookio Podcastio Programmio of the stream that we call Dave's Gone By. Featuring me, Dave Lefkowitz, my darling and adorable wife, Joyce. We have chicken with us today, which is a very exciting thing. We also have a ton of fun stuff to do on this particular program of the air. Sorry about the late start, but we were going to do it on Zoom in order to have video with our old friend Jeff Goodman, who was on. I mean, I've known Jeff for, 25, 30 years now, honestly. We're both theater critics back in the day. And he was on the 18th episode of Dave's Gone By, on our Inside Broadway segment. He's been on a few of our Tony Award specials. Plus, he's such an old friend that we did bunches of shows together late night on terrestrial radio back at WGBB on Long Island, and then we even did a separate show together up at the university. Oh, I'm there. Oh, I'm live. I hear myself. So this is cool. Yay, it's working. So here, so Jeff, Jeff and I, and Jeff was even a co-host for years on the show. He would. It was very nice of him. He would actually drive me out to friggin' Babylon, Long Island, Sunday nights, man. And we had some Babylon. We chanted down Babylon. We did. Because what would happen was we'd go on the radio. We'd do Dave's Gone By at 11 p.m., right? And it was supposed to be an hour long, but very often at this station, the show that was supposed to go on after us and go on all night long never showed up. So there we were, and we had the option of either going home or keeping the show going as long as we wanted to until the morning. And Jeff was like, oh, God, Dave, I've worked all day. I've made balloon animals. I've done parties. And I'm like, no, Jeff, no, we're getting free airtime. This is what we live for. This is what I live for. We're staying and then until about 2 o'clock, 2:30 in the morning, at which point I would be like, all right, Jeff, either I had work tomorrow or I didn't have work tomorrow, but I was falling on my face, and he'd be falling asleep literally at the microphone. And then we go, all right, it's time to go home. And very reluctantly, I would flip the switch, and suddenly there'd be a Chinese radio feed going through the station. And then we'd very sadly pack up our stuff, turn the light, lock the door, of the radio station. It was always the saddest moment of my week when I had to do that. But it was always great, and we had so much fun. Jeff would always come alive that first hour after. He was great during the show, but then when he was awake, that first, from midnight till 1 a.m., we had the most fun because it was unstructured. We'd take phone calls. We would just goof around and play music and goof on the music, and that was a joy. And we did that for a very long time, well, a few years, before I moved away from New York for a while. So Jeff has been on the show in that capacity. We have him on as a guest every once in a while since then. And we're so excited that Jeff Goodman will be back, knock wood, with us later in the program just to see how he's doing. Jeff has had an amazing life change that we've discussed here over the years. Because he's a friend of mine. We follow the progress of him. And this is a man who was away. He was away having surgery, right? Elective, but difficult, important surgery. And while he was in the hospital, his house burned down. The house that he had, by the way, spent months trying to renovate and to get crap out of, because he was an accumulator, a bit of a hoarder, so he had all this stuff going in there, and for years, right? It wasn't like the Lids brothers, but still, it was a house where you had to crawl around things to get from here to there. So he finally, he worked his way through that, was cleaning up rooms, was painting, was having work done, and then the thing, the house burns to the ground, right? Thank God his dog was saved. Thank God he wasn't home. right? But very little. He had a Playboy collection going back 40 years, gone. Most of his photographs gone. Because you don't care in the moment. You care about your furniture. You care about your utensils. You care about your bed. And when that moment is gone and a month passes, you care about your photographs. You care about your movies, your very personal stuff that is irreplaceable. And he lost a great deal of that. On the positive side, he survived. He was fine. He survived a surgery that made him look like a whole new man. This is why I was so excited to get him on Zoom, because he's never been.
Do it next week.
Yeah, well, yeah, but he's been on the show. No, you've never seen him, except for pictures. Pardon me, that I posted to go with the program. But for many, many years, our show was audio only, and he would be on. You hear his voice, you didn't know what he looked like, and then now finally we're doing video, and we're doing Zoom video most of the time now, so that a guest, you can physically see the guest. So I thought, great! Where everybody's going to get to see how great Jeff looks. Where everybody's going to see Jeff for the first time. It'll be this really cool conversation. It'll be like we're back at the old radio station. And of course, the server that I need to get to use Zoom won't work. And my personal server for Zoom, that won't let me stream live to Facebook. So it's a cluster either way. So later on, by about 11 o'clock, you will again, after 17 and a half years, once again, be hearing the voice only of my good friend, Jeff Goodman, on Dave's Gone By. All right, let your imagination run wild, okay? So does he look like George Kirby? Does he look like George Clooney? Does he look like I don't know, the woman who played Georgette on the Mary Tyler Moore Show?
Like Charlie on Charlie's Angels.
Yeah, is he? Well, we actually know. Wasn't it not Tom Bosley who played Charlie? Was that?
But you could do a lead up to when you see him next week or the week after.
I could do a drum roll. I could be just sort of like, ladies and gentlemen, Jeff. Wow, we've got so many people watching. Welcome.
All these people?
Give me some names.
George, Warhol, Kevin, Robert, Michael, David, Vincent, George, Lisa, Charisse, Chris, Moose, and Zoie.
Well, Zoe, but wait. We've got a Moose.
You got somebody called Moose Keating, yes.
Moose!
And Steven just joined, and
well,
Nick.
And welcome everybody who's watching, especially to Moose, because we do a quiz. Yeah. Well, we do a quiz on the show, so I'm sure Moose will have all the antlers. Unfortunately, you don't win any bucks. That's the kind of humor we do on this program, which I like to call Dave's Gone By.
Good morning. There goes the neighborhood. And there was much rejoicing.
Didn't your meds kick in yet?
Yeah, David Lester is here. He's a Long Island Hearts guy. He's got his own radio show.
I want you all to really enjoy a wonderful program done by a fine artist.
A glorious thing of unparalleled beauty.
Dave's Gone By. Dave is one of my very favorite broadcasters, so keep on listening to Mr. Dave.
Yes, it is the Dave's Gone By Facebookio Podcastio Programmio of the Stream, our 755th episode. By the way, welcome to all the folks that Joyce just mentioned, including Warhol. Welcome, Warhol. And, of course, welcome, Moose. Really, really nice to have all of you here. And everybody watching, even if I don't, because we don't see all the names. It's great. I feel really good to call out the names of the folks who are watching. But Joyce and I don't see everybody who's tuned in. So if you don't hear your name, don't feel offended. Don't feel like, well.
You drink something.
Yeah. But welcome also to Richard and Stephen, who are watching.
Do you want your egg cream?
No, I just have thank you. I'm wetting my whistle with my tea. And anyway, what else do I want to tell? I want to tell you a little more about this program. So Jeff Goodman coming up. We also have, as I said, our yesterday quiz that I'm going to ask Jeff if he can stay with us for, so we can kind of play against him.
You would be the only person who knows the answer.
Now, our yesterday quiz in case you're new to the show, is a trivia program, a trivia quiz, all about today's date. Well, it's July 18th. So what happened in July 18th in history, whether 10 years ago or 100 years ago or more? And just quick questions, and you get to see if you can answer them, beating to the punch. Sometimes my cousins are on here, and they're playing, and they're typing in their answers.
Anthony just on Anthony, cousin Anthony.
Is he really?
No.
No.
I have a lot of, in my Trillian family, we have a lot of Anthonys.
Well, we have an Anthony watching, which is really cool.
Anthony.
Anthony, say hi to Moose.
Moose, the moose.
I'm not making fun of your name, Moose, but it's just the greatest name, like Moose. Man.
Gazelle would be nice.
Oh, yeah. Where am I going? Today, yesterday quiz coming up. Also, our wretched pun of destiny. You don't think we can do a show without doing that, do you? Wretched pun of destiny, all about a hotel. Plus, we'll go inside Broadway for news of the Rialto, because I've been a theater person for many, many years, and so I like to talk a little bit about what's going on Broadway. Not much, but there's some stuff to talk about. Greeley crimes and old times. So yes, we do that, and both of those columns are back in the Greeley Tribune newspaper, back in Colorado, where Joyce and I were living for a bunch of years. So yes, Greeley crimes and old times, we've got a good one for you, we do. And then our Colorado Limerick of the Damned, where we are going to a place I've never heard of, Routt, Colorado. There's a Routt, Colorado, and I've written a poem about it. And we will also have potato news. So we got, I mean, it's gonna be a show. How you doing, babe? How's my wife doing?
I'm alive.
She's alive. Aren't we all? This time of year, we should be overjoyed and delighted here in New York, because we've supposedly made it through the worst of the pandemic, and we're in, I think, phase 4, starting next week. It's not the full phase 4. It's sort of a phase 3.5 of what we thought phase 4 would be. Because phase 4 was supposed to be like back to normal. Really, truly, almost completely back to normal. Except maybe if you're in a big crowd, you put on a mask and you try and distance a little. But you figure restaurants would be open normal, everything would be open okay. Do everything that you were doing before, just a little more cautiously, and wash your hands a little more often. But it isn't. The restaurants are still going to be kind of minimal capacity. Everything's distanced. Wear a mask here and there and there. And obviously no theater, no concerts, no nothing. They even canceled a drive-in concert that was supposed to be happening this week or next week, because who knows. But so all of this, though, this idea that New York is moving forward, and we've had virtually no deaths this week from COVID, and very few hospitalizations, few incidents. It's like, yeah. And then you look at the map of the rest of the country, and I know Joyce laughs, and I'm not really saying this, but to me, this thing has behaved like a swarm of bees. I say that every weekend, and to me it seems true. To me, it hit the East Coast. This swarm of murder hornet virus things just comes in a wave. It takes over a state and maybe the state next to it, near it, and then kill, sick, ventilator, respirator, and then, weakens and moves on and goes away, right? And moved out of New York and New Jersey and Connecticut and places like that. And then people thought, oh, okay, it's going to be all right. And instead it moved to Texas.
Richard Carlos.
Yeah.
And somebody else joined.
So now the swarm is happening in Alabama, in Louisiana, in Texas, and Florida, of course. Listen, there they are. That's the queen corona bee. Oh, I guess the swarm has now had its hive and it's hatching. But it's true. It's sort of like we thought we had seen the worst and lived through the worst, and maybe we have here on the East Coast. But the issue is we're looking at all these other states, and the only thing that makes me happy, but there's nothing to be happy about, but the only thing that makes me have a little bit of about what's happening with Corona now is if you look at some of the more conservative Republican right-wing websites, all the idiots who are posting there are saying, oh, or they have been saying for the past 2 or 3 months, notice that the places that have had these terrible outbreaks and most of the deaths, well, they're the blue states. They're the places with immigrants and brown people and illegals.
Racismo.
Well, yeah, okay, thinly veiled, not even veiled. It's amazing how unveiled it is some of the time. And they're saying, well, and also they're saying, oh, it's the places that have democratic rule in place. It's a place with democratic mayors. It's more than race. I mean, it's a political divide, of course. And they're saying, well, yeah, of course New York gets it because it's New York. And they've got de Blasio as the mayor. And then they've got, all these people from different countries and people who look different from us and speak different languages and have different ethnicities. Of course, I don't know what an ethnicity is, but of course they're getting COVID. Of course they're getting this disease because it's all these people that don't look like me, right? And what could we say in urban centers like Chicago, in New York? We could say, well, yes, we're also a bunch of people who live on top of each other all the time and have to plow through 50,000 people just to get from West 43rd Street to West 44th Street. We're going to be breathing on them. They're going to be breathing on us. We could be breathing on Quakers and they could be giving us COVID. It's got nothing to do. It's the density. And they always make fun of the failing cities. Los Angeles, New York, Detroit, Chicago, crime and bullets flying and riots and all of this. But they never acknowledge that these are also the cities that everybody wants to be in if you want to be in a city, right? People don't want to be in Oshkosh. Unless you're 70 and you've had your fill.
No, even 70-year-olds don't want to be in Oshkosh.
Maybe not Oshkosh. But you know what I'm saying? Like a medium-sized city. People don't dream of coming to. Honestly, I dream of coming to Loveland, Colorado, because I've lived in Colorado and I love Colorado. But your average person, your kid, maybe he's a little creative and artsy and maybe gay and is growing up in a small town in Kansas this person doesn't dream of going necessarily to Santa Fe, New Mexico. What do they dream? They want to be in the theater community in Chicago. They want to come to New York. They want to come to San Francisco or Berkeley or Los Angeles or major Austin, Texas, perhaps, as opposed to the rest of Texas. So these are the places that still attract because they've got the arts and they've got the culture and they've got the feeling of energy that a truly big international city provides. And so they can make fun all they want that, oh my God, Chicago, you can't walk outdoors without getting hit with a stray bullet. And that is apparently a problem. But at the same time, they're saying these terrible, awful, failing cities that are run by Democrats. Isn't it funny that Democrats run all the cities that people, when they're 16 years old, that's where they dream of being if they're not there already, right? They're the cities that, if you're my age, you want to get the hell out of. But if you're young, those are the energy places, the places to be. So it's really heartwarming for a curmudgeon and a cynic like me to see how these conservative people, these racist people, pivot when you have to tell them, it's not New York and Chicago where people are now filling hospitals to capacity with this disease. And they're not.
People aren't masked up.
Yeah. It's these places where the governors thought 2 months ago, let the New Yorkers, let the places that have the ethnic people use masks everywhere and shut down their businesses and close down their this and stop that. And so, no, it's not that big a deal. It's just a kind of a worse flu than usual. It's not going to bother us. So while we were shutting down and assumedly saving lives, these places were kind of going about their business mostly. And now the southern states, the Midwestern and the I guess northern-ish. I mean, it's still Montana and the Dakotas are not really getting hit by this.
Because their population not dense.
Right? They have that distance thing automatically going for them. But it just makes me so happy when there are states now that are getting hit by this and hurt by this that you can't say, oh, these are Democratic strongholds, right? These are places where, it's just brown people punishing white people by giving
I
them.
will tell you this: the virus knows the virus knows only a good host. That's all the virus knows.
Yeah, I try to be a good host. When the virus
No, on
knocks.
Zoom. That's on Zoom, honey.
That's right. I'm hosting the virus on Zoom. That's what I wanted to do. Besides Jeff Goodman, our special guest this week was going to be the coronavirus. We had a Zoom link up. It was going to be great. It was going to just do, because it's such a pretty looking thing.
I thought the coronavirus would Zoom bomb.
I know. Well, speaking of Corona and Royal, did you see? You're gonna hate this because you're a gerontologist, but literally, the headline for, I think it was the New York Post, had to do with a very nice thing. The Queen, who is 94 years old, knighted somebody yesterday. She knighted this World War II veteran who turned 100. And so she's there on the lawn of Buckingham Palace, and she is with her cane. She's walking along the grass.
Social distance?
That's funny. I don't
How
think
can you have to knight somebody? You have to be close with your sword.
She didn't get that close, but she's walking to him.
Yeah.
He's on his walker, walking to her.
But it was a walker with wheels. I thought it was.
Oh my! Well, yeah, he's 100 years old. So, but it's kind of funny. I think the headline on the thing was "dodder," as they dodder toward each other. Everyone's talking about an ageist term. Oh my God!
Intersectionality of isms, ages.
Oh. I mean, it's a nice thing. It's really, really cute. But I have to say, and shame on me, but I saw the video of it, and it's really nice. I mean, she walks slowly towards him. He walks, wheels slowly towards her.
Oh, we have Eileen with the double I.
Hi, Eileen with the double I.
And you missed Richard, Carlos, Jimmy, Dale, Tim, Kevin, Jerry, Eileen, and Billy.
Well, welcome all.
Guillermo.
Welcome, Guillermo and Moose. So, the Queen gets close enough to him. I mean, they're not that close, but close enough to him.
Could you call him Moshe?
The Jewish word for moose, or name for moose, would be Moshe.
That's his Hebrew name.
So the Queen reaches forward with her cane,
Her sword.
her sword, her
That's
special
my pencil, not a sword.
royal sword. And
Wait a second. No, wait a second. I have a prop. Hold on. Wait.
hold on. I'm literally poised with my mighty sword, as Randy Newman would put it. Hold on. What is she? I know exactly what she's getting.
If you're the Queen, you gotta.
This is worth waiting for.
You gotta be the
Thank
Queen.
you very much. Wait, aren't you going to anoint me with it?
No, you're the Queen.
Oh, that's true. Oh.
You put on your own.
She didn't say anything as far
I'm
as
sure the Queen does definitely knight people with a pencil. I'm sure that's exactly.
Well, she does it to get the lead out.
Oh. John just joined. I'm sure he's horrified.
I guess also it's important tonight, everybody, because we're all members of the human race.
Okay, Queenie. Go, Queen. Go,
Well,
Queen.
actually, you know what he did? You know what he did when she knighted him with a pencil? He made number 2. I just thought of that. Okay, I'm sorry. So anyway, but this is true. This is my terrible mind. So she goes, she takes ever so slowly and gently, gives him a little tap right on his shoulder. And I'm like, oh, she just broke his hip.
Ages.
I know. But it did strike me that would be funny. If that's what would be funny for him.
Listen, if you have to wait 100 years to get knighted, that's a long time.
I know.
That's sad to me.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Well, that's the thing. I mean, you have to be 100. Remember when Willard Scott?
Oh yeah.
He would be on the morning shows,
But
and he said,
confessed he hated people. Remember that one interview? He's like, I hated that.
"Oh."
Like it was all like a show. Like he really didn't like it. It started out as a gag.
And then it was a nice thing to do. I don't know. I enjoy when people tune in and I can just say hi to people. You know, when someone tunes in, I give the first name.
Your crown, put a little bit higher on your head, lower on your forehead.
Like so.
I can't.
Well, no, that's just wrong.
No, that's good.
Oh.
That's good. Let me see it. I'm gonna look.
It's like a rakish angle now. Huh?
Wait, I have to wait because there's a delay here.
Yeah, if it's rakish though, I kind of have to leaf it. See, my humor's branching out.
Oh, you know who you look like? You
What?
look like Biggie Smalls. I like it.
Oh, I know that picture. Yes.
You look like Biggie.
Yeah. It gives a little nice golden color.
It's good. It's 99 cents from that place in Cedarhurst.
Oh.
Do you want your cowboy hat that lights up?
Oh my God! I don't know if not right this second because that would be too much, but maybe later
It's blue.
it could come in handy.
And it has the red lights.
Except the lights like we figured wouldn't work, and then they started
and then
working.
They started working.
Yeah. There's a cowboy hat, a fake
It was for Purim.
for Purim comedy cowboy hat that we got, or Joyce got for me.
But that's when I got your crown too.
Yeah. And it had lights strung along it. That was part of the beauty of the hat.
I wouldn't call it beauty.
They never actually worked. And then we put it, on just some stuff in another room. And then one morning we walk in, and it's like, or it was like at night, and you flipped out because you saw lights going around it.
It was like, it was a little scary.
Anywho, it's 9:30 already. 9:30 in the morning, Eastern time, here in the Daverhood. I'm Dave Lefkowitz. My darling and adorable wife, Joyce, is with us. Chicken is with us on Dave's Gone By. It's July 18th, 2020. And I will tell you that we're calling this episode Jupiter Pluvius. I'm not going to tell you why. You'll have to stay tuned to find out. Stay tuned through Potato News, Greeley Crimes and Old Times, Inside Broadway, Today, Yesterday Quiz, Wretched Pun of Destiny, oh my God, Colorado Limerick of the Damned, and our chat with my old friend Jeff Goodman. So it's going to be quite a show, I hope. What else can we talk about? Let's all... speaking of Republicans and Democrats, let's all say a prayer for Ruth Bader Ginsburg. Oh my God, that's gonna be a cluster,
RBG.
Well, she has apparently liver cancer that she's being treated for. I think she's 87. She is continuing work.
Well, cancer grows slower as you age because your cell division's slower.
I mean, but I imagine she has comorbid conditions. At this point,
she exercises every day. Remember, we saw that in her documentary. So, like, she went into it probably healthier than many because she exercised.
Yeah, but that's the thing. I'm not as anti. If you watch this show, you know that I'm not remotely as anti-Trump as so many people I know are. I'm in the theater community.
The Cheeto.
Yeah, Joyce despises him. My parents hate him. Everybody I know, all the theater people, all my Facebook friends, they think he is the worst president ever. He's not, right? But
yes, he is.
He's not. I lived through Jimmy Carter. I lived through Nixon.
I love Carter.
Carter was terrible. But he's not a good president by any stretch of the image, right? But I'm worried about Biden, and Trump does some good things, which no Democrat will admit, right? But here's the deal. Where was I going with this?
You're senile, you don't know.
Well, the thing is, the one thing that would keep me pulling the lever for him, there are a few things, but one of them is, remember, he appoints all the judges, right? It's his call as to who will be up for the Supreme Court. And I don't want Republicans having a say over the next probably 50 years.
Oh, Chris and John are
welcome to Chris and John. 50 years of what the laws of this country and the decisions about the laws of this country and the constitutional decisions will be. Because that scares the hell out of me. I've been surprised over the past couple of weeks of the decisions that have come down, even with, not Gorsuch, what's her names that were appointed? Kavanaugh.
Yes.
And the other Trump appointee. They kind of went against him, which is amazing and beautiful. But if he gets another person or two on there, forget it. It will be, forget it. Women can abort a fetus in the first 48 hours of conception, and that will be it. They will figure out ways to reverse Roe or make it. They won't outlaw abortion. They'll just make it physically impossible for a woman to get one without flying 2,500 miles or something like that. So that's what I'm worried about, and I really want to see. I want RBG to stay alive. But if she kicks, I want to see where Mitch McConnell goes, right? I want to see what happens with him in terms of him blocking Obama's pick. Was that Gorsuch? Was Gorsuch the Republican or Democrat? Who was the one who was supposed to get in?
I'm tuning out to this part. I don't like your politics.
You know, like, I'm being left on this. You know? But seriously, Mitch McConnell blocked Obama's Supreme Court. Now, we all remember this. 9 months before the elections. Do you remember this? Because it said, oh, it's too close to the elections for the current president to make the decision of who's going to be on the Supreme Court.
Good.
And all the Republicans backed him. And they said, no, we don't know who the president's going to be. It's not fair. It's not right. And we can just stonewall and block and filibuster and what have you and keep Obama's guy off the bench. And he did. It worked. I mean, you know, McConnell is evil, but he's a brilliant politician. So now, if Ruth Bader Ginsburg dies by the end of July, and it's 3.5 months, right? August, September, October, basically 3 months and change before the election day. Not to mention less than 3 months when people would be voting in absentia or just by mail.
How are we going to vote with COVID?
Well, when we were in Colorado, the past few years, we never went to a polling place. We filled out the ballots. I dropped them in the ballot box.
Then they just shredded the ones they didn't like.
Well, not necessarily, because some of our people got through.
Not many.
But here's the deal. I like to see if he suddenly changes his tune, and if here it is, like early August, there's a seat vacant on the Supreme Court. Trump says, "Here's my list of people. Let's vet this one," and they all are, you know, right-wing conservative. Even further, obviously, than Kavanaugh would be, because Kavanaugh turned tail a little bit, at least on the last couple of decisions. So, you know, and then how does McConnell justify and say, well, we think Donald Trump will be in for another 4 years? It's not we don't know that a new president will be in here, so we're assuming Trump will be reelected, and therefore he gets it wrong. Even though it's only 3 months, there's different circumstances. Yeah.
Who talks like that?
And he's talking through his jowls.
Oh, my jowls.
He's got that whole lower face thing going on, that McConnell.
Is that how you're supposed to talk like that?
Well, when you're sort of southernish, I don't know if he's a southerner, but he certainly sounds like one.
Sounds like a wealthy landowner.
Basically, yeah. So it's going to be interesting just whether he becomes hypocrite or he just shrugs his shoulders and goes, oh, you know, well, we did 9 months before and it's only 3 months now. We'll wait. And the Democrats could probably stonewall anyway at this point. I'm not sure. But that is the one thing. I certainly wish RBG a fast and full recovery, or at least recovery enough to still perform her function on the Supreme Court and not have to bow out, because she knows it. I imagine if we had a Democrat in power at this point, she'd be like, you know, I want to go home, I want to make my food with my daughter, I want to rest, and let... It wasn't Al Gore. Who was running against? Oh, Hillary. Hillary can choose somebody else. I'll give her some recommendations. Yeah, but instead, she's just she's probably counting the hours. She's like, you know, I'm almost ready to die, but not with this guy as president. Almost ready to let it die. I see this. If I look this way, I see the light, and I want to go towards it. If I look this way, it's the Malach HaMovis, it's the angel of death ready to take me by the hand. He's got the sigh ready and everything. But if I look in the newspaper, I see I see Republican-controlled this and the presidency. I'm like, no, I'm gonna stay on this planet just a little while longer. I hope he does anyway. Oh my God, what else? What else is there to talk? Oh, will you be more comfortable, dear, talking about the atmosphere?
Well, Jeffrey, Quintella, and Mark joined.
Quintella?
Quinteja? I don't know.
Quinteja, and of course, Moose are watching. And Mark, welcome to Mark. So, there was another...
I just invited a Joyce, who was our friend who was dead. She still has Facebook.
Oh, God.
I want to look that up. Hold on, that's
weird. Might want to remove a dead person.
Why do they do that, David? When people die, like...
Facebook doesn't know.
But what is the Maybe it's a memorial. I'm gonna see.
Yeah. Family doesn't necessarily. I mean, a family could then think.
Oh no, they announced the passing. It says I announced the passing
Oh, yeah.
of my mother.
Oh gosh.
Wow.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
love-
That's sad.
That was 2018. She was
Oh.
great. She was such a. I loved her.
But anyway, can we talk about the what we used to call ecology? I guess now it's called environment. I don't know when that happened. Well, whatever happened to the word ecology? It was such a nice word when I was growing up. Then when you were in grade school and high school and stuff,
Ecological.
if you were what we now call tree huggers and stuff, it was you cared about the ecology, right? And now it's like, no, you're an environmentalist, and that's the language they use. But of all people, of all organizations, to be pro-ecology, to be worried about climate change. When I think of climate change organizations, what do I think of? Maybe a Facebook guy. Who's the IBM guy who donates all this money?
Bill Gates.
Bill Gates, foundations and stuff.
Guy, yeah.
I think of the folks who design and implement.
You know
What-
those guys like the clear water, blue water,
Yes.
and jewelry.
And the folks who put those tiles on roofs. What are those? The solar tiles, the solar panel people, right? But did you realize that perhaps the most forward-thinking, pro-Earth organization that there is? Well, I mean, I think you probably know this. Is Burger King.
Oh no.
Come on, you saw this. You showed this to me.
You talk about it. I'm gonna be back in a second.
Oh, I purposely picked a topic that way. Do your thing. But
You talk
Burger
about
King.
it. Yeah, show them the video.
Like rights issues, I can't. But Burger King came out with a commercial, and it's not like a 30-second commercial that you see on regular TV. I don't even know why they did it. It's 2 minutes long. But they came out with a country music sounding jingle commercial wherein they were promoting that they were using a special thing. They were using lemongrass, or starting to, mixing that into the cows' diets. Right? Why? Because apparently they want to reduce the number of cow farts. Because as we've all read, as we've all seen, we can say, yes, China pollutes through its automobiles and factories, and Detroit pollutes, and we put garbage in the water from our factories. But along with that, one of the biggest polluters and killers of the ozone layer, supposedly, is our cattle industry. The way that we herd and keep so many animals penned up, the way we feed them, and that when they fart, that methane goes into the atmosphere and destroys it. You know, it wouldn't be in the old days when you just had cattle ranchers and doing cattle normally and grazing on the fields. It's just okay. That was part of the regular ecosystem, the ecology. But the way we farm, where you have 4 million cattle packed into 1 acre, and they can't move, and they're just like breathing and eating hormones and Monsantoizing and out their ass. So Burger King does a commercial-ish video, and the first thing you see, and don't watch it now, but please do watch this later. It's on YouTube. This young cowboy kid with a guitar, talented kid, coming out of barn doors, like in a westerny farm setting. There's a little smoke behind him, and you realize immediately that the barn doors are actually, around them is the back of a cow. So it's essentially emerging from a cow's ass as the cow is farting. I cannot making this up. This is the actual Burger King commercial with a very catchy country tune. And it's a generic-ish country tune until the yodeling chorus, and then I said, oh, that sounds pretty good. And it's all about how Burger King is trying to figure out ways to make cows fart less, and therefore be healthier in the atmosphere in the meat that Burger King uses. So essentially Burger King is trying to make the atmosphere better for people to have heart attacks in when they eat all that red meat. Okay, and by the way, I'm a carnivore. I can say these things. I'm as guilty as anybody. But and then of course the backlash immediately. Nobody is even giving them any credit of doing a little bit. That's the thing. That's the thing that bugs me, right? Because in the exercise world, let's say, in the Richard Simmonsy kind of world, what would they say? You would get like someone who was my 1,600-pound life, and it's okay. Nobody's expecting you to run 5 miles and bench 200 pounds unless it's 200 pounds of cake, right? No, you just get up, go for a walk around the room, and then next week go for a walk around the block every day, and then do what you can incrementally to help yourself and get better, right? So no one's saying that you have to go from, 15,000 calories a day diet to 2,000 calories a day diet overnight. It's not going to happen. You'll either get yourself sick or you'll do it for a little while and then you won't be able to handle it and so forth. It's like, you were doing nothing. You were sitting on the couch watching TV. You decided for 10 minutes to get up and get a little physical exercise and go for a walk around the block or in the garden. And then instead of eating 3 slices of dessert, you cut it down to 1.5. Good for you. Long way to go. Good for you. Does anybody give Burger King an attaboy or an attaking? No. It's sort of like everybody's saying it's not the farts, which makes me sad because I always wanted to be the farts. But the problem is,
talking about the cows?
Of course, I'm still talking about the cows. But the sad thing is, it's not
It's
the
the
farts.
belching. It's the belching.
Who knew? Who knew that apparently cows burps?
Well, because they eat grass.
Yeah, so.
Oh, hold on, you got some examples.
What? Oh, somebody, right?
Jean said, good night all.
Oh, good night, Jean.
And then Janine, Janine.
Hello, Jean.
And
Goodbye.
then she said Beano for cows.
What for cows?
Beano.
Really, that was the gist of most of the
Yeah,
responses.
but how would cows take Beano? Could they get to the drugstore and get you'd have to go to Costco and get a huge amount.
First of all, you'd have to get cows on health insurance so that their provider could then give them a card that they
it's
could.
non-prescription though. Beano's
Oh, so there you go. Or maybe they make a special grasso for cows where they put it in the diet, but they're saying lemongrass will cut down on farts. Maybe there's something like a gas X for cattle, for the cattle industry. How do you? I mean, a cow burps its breath. How do you not have cows?
My grandma burped a lot, and they gave her some kind of medication.
But here's the deal. Let's say everybody became vegetarian.
Yeah.
However, I don't know how many billion people are in the world, or 280 million people in the United States. And we all ate salad, seaweed, broccoli.
Oh, she said bulk discount.
Right, and we all did that. If humans all burped, would we be polluting the atmosphere? Do our farts and burps pollute the atmosphere as well?
Cows have how many stomachs? 7?
Oh, that's true.
Yeah,
Yeah.
more stomachs. It would be like you eating a Texas Roadhouse,
Well, yeah, I believe me, after I eat at Texas Roadhouse or a Mexican restaurant, I pollute the atmosphere in a way no cow ever could. I empty out cities. But I mean, can we at least thank Burger King a little bitty bit for making the effort? Because they're saying, oh, it's just show.
No,
They're
doing it because they have that salty vegetarian burger, right?
Good for them, right? So they're also they're promoting their plant-based addition to their menu. Yay!
Are you going to talk? Oh.
What?
So she just wrote out the word farts. I don't know what.
Yes, indeed. I know what those are.
Do you want to talk about Taco Bell?
Well, I'm leading to that. It crossed the synapse of my mind of while Burger King is adding to its menu, at least this plan. Now, Joyce and I talk about this all the time. What the dirty little secret we watched?
Oh, they actually have a fart capedo, which is farting. They actually have farts.
Fart emojis?
Yeah, they have fart pictures.
Yes,
Some of
yes.
them are really offensive.
Oh, well, I would hope so. But Joyce and I watched this documentary about how much better a plant-based diet is for humans. A vegetarian, vegan diet. Not just vegetarian,
Well,
but vegan.
Janine said we don't exhale methane or negligible.
Ah, thank you, Jenny. I'm not a scientist. We watched this documentary on Netflix about just even eggs and cheese.
Oh, it was the athlete one, right?
Yeah.
Athlete, our friend told us
Because it was all about these super athletes
about.
and how the lie has been that if you really want to be strong and a great big monster athlete and faster than ever, and that you need iron, you need that meat diet once in a while to add that thing that you're not getting from plants and fruits. So the documentary said, no, that's not true. Really, you're not getting a whole hell of a lot from beef. You can totally get what you need from plants. And here's an example. Here's the strongest man in the world, and he's been on a vegetarian diet for...
Callan joined your friend.
Who did? Sorry?
Robert Callan.
Oh, Robert. Hey, welcome, Robert. And Warhol, of course, and Moose. But so they're saying that so Burger King, hooray! The one thing that the documentary didn't go into or didn't go near is that, unfortunately, from what I've seen, to make plant-based
I put several dancing cows in the chat.
to make plant-based foods palatable, they basically have to overload them with sodium. That's always been one of my issues with, because I like a garden burger. It isn't quite the same as a hamburger, or beef burger, I guess we should say. But, you put something between a bun with ketchup on it and onions and lettuce and lettuce and onions and tomato. If there's a burger in there that isn't disgusting, and it happens to be made of plant matter with no animal, that's fine. Yum. The Dr. Prager, it's actually very good. I can have it without a bun. I dip it in ketchup. But the real problem is, how do you make these things really tasty without adding sodium? So you have people who want to have this really healthy diet, and what they're doing is giving themselves... Well, sodium isn't diabetes. What's the heart disease?
High blood pressure.
High blood pressure.
Heart attack.
So if they can do that, and I'm sure they are trying that in the labs, where they're making these fake steaks and these fake meats and cuts of meat, and if that's 5 years away from being reasonably generally available and actually fooling the palate, which I imagine it is, fantastic. And I will switch some of my diet towards that.
Like your 27-ounce rib plate.
Yeah. If they can figure out how to make spare ribs out of taro root that taste like spare ribs and eat like spare ribs, but the problem is with spare ribs, you're slathering them with sauce that's got, and there you go again. The sauce might also be vegan or vegetarian and plant-based, but it's going to, buckets of sodium in it to make it taste like anything. So that's the stumbling block, and something that I wish they had talked about. Like there's someone that you knew back in the day who was vegetarian, right, for years, didn't eat any meat, and this person was obese.
What's that Netflix thing? It's like Champion?
Greatest or the strongest, maybe? I forget the name of the actual documentary. But you would figure that this person who wasn't eating any meat would be
Game changer.
a reasonable size. But the problem is this person, Cheetos are not meat. Right? Snack foods are not meat. And I don't know if this person was vegan or vegetarian, but cheese and things like that, and ice cream, are not. So this person was still really, really fat. Well, kind of defeats on some level the purpose. How did I get into that? Oh, but the thing was that Burger King, so if they're trying this plant-based burger, check the sodium, but for God's sakes, try it. If you're in Burger King, you're not really caring at that moment what you're putting into your body. Okay? You're in an airport, because we all know that anything you eat in an airport does not count.
I put Game Changers, the movie, in the...
Game Changer, yes, that's the name of the film. Because we all know that. We all have that moment when there's an hour between where we're sitting in the airport and waiting for the shuttle to pick us up. And it's like, what am I going to do? I'm kind of hungry, and it's going to be too late when I get home to eat anything. Well, there's the Burger King, there's the McDonald's. Let's get some fries, right? Or if it's earlier in the evening, well, kind of, you're wasting money if you're not getting the full Happy Meal. Because the burger is almost as much as the burger and the
That's
fries
for
together.
children, honey.
What?
Happy Meals for children.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, like, that's the one place. Because I'm a terrible eater. I'll eat anything. I'm omnivorous. I eat a lot of crap. But I don't generally eat in fast food restaurants. I haven't been to...
Tell them about the 8-pound chili cheesesteak you had from Panera.
It was a Philly
It
cheese.
was a Philly cheesesteak with macaroni and cheese
Oh, yeah,
in
that
it.
It wasn't 8 pounds. It was a...
It
I've
was
never
in
tried...
it.
In it, yeah. But I'm saying there's a local place, a local restaurant that we have here that has been open, thank goodness, and they make a very nice omelet. See, my wife, she will eat an egg white omelet with either mushrooms or not spinach. What do you get in there? Broccoli,
Yeah, usually some vegetable.
feta cheese, right?
I don't like feta now.
Oh, okay, well, something else. All vegetarian, plant-based, lovely, right? Me, I'm like, do I go for the burger or the Philly cheesesteak?
You know, the Philly cheesesteak that's loaded with mac and cheese in it.
Yeah, I've never heard of such a thing. They take a cheese, which is a perfectly fine thing in itself. A cheesesteak to me is just like a nice thin, I wish it were thicker, but a nice layer of steak with sauce.
Even in your description,
Onion.
commentary.
And onion, by the way, is healthy, right? So onion's good. Slice those onions, the cooked onions on there. And a bun. And maybe some cheese. There's got to be some cheese, cheddar cheese. I don't like Swiss. Put some cheese on there. These people had the idea.
Commentary, David. I don't like Swiss.
I don't like Swiss cheese. That's my thing. I like the lighter, Munster and cheddar Havarti. I'm fine. How about you? Okay, sorry. But these have the idea that, I guess for people coming down off a high, that you add to a cheesesteak a big scoopful of macaroni and cheese, along with what were those potatoes or fried onion rings? Something insane, something breaded and fried, and you slap that on top of the cheesesteak before you put the top bun on it. It was delicious, and yet I don't feel like I'm eating fast food because it's not officially a fast food place. It's not McDonald's. It's not Burger King. Kentucky Fried Chicken.
It's assembled individually. It's not like.
Yeah, it's quote unquote real food, even though it's probably 4,000 calories per bite. And I don't need to have that again. I mean, I'm perfectly fine with a cheesesteak that is merely cheese. You don't need to throw on the mac and cheese. You can put it in a side dish. And somehow it feels more, I don't know, it just feels so much more decadent if you dump the noodles on top of the sandwich than it does if I have a sandwich with a side of the noodles. It'd be kind of like going to the deli and getting a pastrami sandwich. And I feel somehow it's just slightly healthier, just a little bit healthier.
Can you have your phone if Jeff calls? I'm just worried.
Yeah, I will. Just a little bit healthier if I have my sandwich and then a bite of potato pancake with applesauce next to it, as opposed to throwing the potato pancake on top of the sandwich and eating it that way. Somehow that's worse. Somehow that is going to do in my arteries more.
Oh, Esther just joined, honey.
I haven't said my aunt?
Yeah.
Welcome, Auntie Essie.
No,
Hello.
it's pronounced Esther.
Esther. Oh, by the way, Esther and everybody else, happy 10 o'clock to you. It's 10 o'clock in the morning Eastern Time here in the Daverhood. We're doing the 755th episode of Dave's Gone By, a mix of humor and talk and culture that we've been doing since October of 2002. As a matter of fact, if you want to find all our older episodes, go to the website. I'm going to add some methane to the atmosphere. Here we go. Did you hear that? Did that come through on the computer? That was a cow burp.
Turn off the sound.
Oh no, yeah, that's okay.
And I'm trying not to lose your Facebook.
So here's the thing. DavesGoneBy.com is our website. DavesGoneBy.com. We've been going through it. We've been fixing the links, fixing the photos. We've got now at least the last 15 years of our 17-and-a-half-year-old show all ready, all beautiful, and really all the episodes work. So you can go back and listen to our 5th episode, our 55th, our 555th episode. Here we are at 755. They are all there at davesgoneby.com for free. Okay, you can either stream them on your computer, or some of the shows, especially the later ones, are 3-4 hours. Maybe you just want to hear the audio, and you can download them. The last 3 years, obviously, were video, because we've been doing this on Facebook, but we have both the video and audio streams of every episode, virtually, that we have done. And it's all there at davesgoneby.com. We also have a separate archive of all the interviews that we've done. We've been fixing those up, so the website's really working. I'm sorry, what?
Stephen.
Welcome to Stephen. Check it out, davesgoneby.com. We also keep our archives in a couple of other places. You can find them on YouTube.
Giving you laughs.
Who is? Oh, I'm not. Oh, you know what? Let me see if I can see anything. No, I'm not seeing any comments or anything here. But if you go to archive.org, archive.org, and you type in Dave's Gone By, you'll see last 15 years of our episodes, both audio and video, and all the interviews. We've been loading them onto this marvelous website that's collating audio and video and books and images from the 20th and 21st century. Archive.org. Very proud to be on there. We're also on Castbox.fm, proud to be on there too, and that's specifically for audio podcasts. So you can get the last 15 years of this program audio only by going to Castbox.fm. And that's really a good way if you want to take us on the go and you just want a podcast, you just want the audio coming through. We've got them up there at Castbox.fm. So yeah, lots of ways to listen to Dave's Gone By. Lots of ways to get in touch with me. You can type to me here. I would love to hear more from you during the program. So just write on this Facebook page, Dave's Gone By, or email me, davesgoneby@aol.com. But before we leave this and get on to the stuff we want to do on the program, what is also kind of funny is that Burger King is supposedly enhancing its menu and adding these plant-based cool things, whereas Taco Bell is taking away its stuff. Oh, you know, I want to talk about that later, because that might make potato news. This is I'll do that to whet your appetite. And you know, if your appetite is wet, you might want to get a sponge. But here's the deal. Little teaser, Taco Bell is taking away something unbelievable from their menu, including a bunch of items at the same time. I'm just like flabbergasted. My guest has been flabbered, and that's not a pleasant sensation, let me tell you. Ladies and gentlemen, it's 10:04 in the morning. Shall we do some times, babe? Shall we do some?
I'm inviting new people. I found a way in Washboard to find the people who are live.
Oh, fantastic! Yeah, Joyce is inviting people to watch this.
I can do both. Let me hold this in my left hand. Hold on.
Cool.
Okay.
So, Greeley Crimes and Old Times is a segment that we've been doing for a long time now, because Joyce and I were living in northern Colorado, in Greeley, Colorado. For a while, I was doing this program from the radio station at that university there. So they have a newspaper called the Greeley Tribune in northern Colorado. It's been in trouble for a while, but it's still there. It's still going.
Don't they publish once a year?
Well, they publish daily, several times a day on their website, but they cut back on their hard copy, because what newspaper hasn't had to cut back? And one of the things that they're doing, though, is after the first wave of the pandemic out in Colorado, they were furloughing some staff, and now some of that staff is back. So Mike Peters is back doing his 100 Years Ago column. And Trevor Reed, or is it Tyler Mead? One of those. Yeah.
People won't do anything to avoid copyright. Let's go back 100 years.
Yeah, let's do something we don't have to pay for, right? And I think it's Trevor Reed who does another column.
It was Tyler. No? Tyler? I don't know.
I'm not sure. No, I think there's a Tyler Mead and a Trevor Reed.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, Queen, yes.
But there's another column called Cop Log about phone calls that come into the Weld County Police Department. And these are public record, and these calls are like, police should look into this. You should send a cop over to check this out that's going on over here. And some of those calls are very legit. Some of them maybe not so, or what's the activity is kind of weird. They collect the funniest, weirdest one.
Yeah, they're not violent. They're
Yeah.
not. They're basically people who should not be. They should be calling a friend or texting someone, sending a textus.
Yeah.
But they inadvertently call the police. Yeah.
Something like that. They call it cop log. We like to mix those up, the 100 years ago and the cop log, every week in something that we call Greeley Crimes and Old Times. Ba-da-da-da, fla-ga-ga-doo, flabba-dee-doo, fiddly-o-dee-dee. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, Greeley Crimes and Old Times on Dave's Gone By. And just so to maintain the chain of continuity, let's not forget the greatest headline ever in the Greeley Tribune, real newspaper, all the ways a tree can kill you. There it is. Wonderful. Just wonderful. Are you ready for some criminality, babe? Well, we begin with
your friend David.
David.
Dr. David joined.
Oh, welcome, other David. Hello.
Isn't it Dr. David?
Oh, my friend from high school. Yes. Yeah.
That's
Welcome,
Dr.
David.
Dr. David. Wait, how do we do Dr. David in the house?
Do you have a stethoscope
We
noise?
gotta do.
That's right. Or I'll do the.
We used to have that heartbeat one, but we broke that
Oh,
one.
yeah. We used to have so many noise
Maybe we
machines.
could do it. Wait, for him.
Okay. Well, doctors
Oh, no,
do charge.
For Dr. David.
There we go. Welcome, Dr. David. By the way, Dr. David, we have someone watching named Moose.
Dr. David he's not a veterinarian. Dr. David's a human doctor.
Oh, that's true.
Right, isn't he?
Well, it's the
He's not a
same system.
vet. Not really, not at all.
The other things have extra stomachs. Otherwise, it's all the same.
I don't think so.
We begin Greeley Crimes with Old Times with our cliche behavior of the week. A caller reported an old man who started yelling at teenagers who were playing football and their ball went into his yard.
Oh, that's the age-old saga.
I mean, it was like, hey, you,
Isn't that like Cain and Abel, and then like you threw your ball in my yard? So,
get off of my lawn! I'm going to be knighted by the queen later! Get off!
That's the age-old, age-old struggle of youth and age, right? This false age war.
And I do believe when you get old enough, there should be euthanasia.
Can I tell you some IGA in school used to say to me, "Why is there only euthanasia? What about the other continents?" This was my GA, ladies.
I bet they thought of that joke first, right?
No, he knew. And he told it to me in English and Spanish, and it wasn't funny in either language.
Neither language, no, certainly not. Although most of my euthanasia jokes kill. Thank you very much. Police responded to suspicious activity. Ooh, suspicious activity. On 26th Street Road, a man wearing camo gear with a backpack was running around the neighborhood. This is kind of good. Running around the neighborhood asking for a knife. Why?
Why?
Do you want to guess on this one?
Because he was trying to fight off the zombies of the apocalypse.
Good guess, but
No?
no.
He wanted potted meat product?
It wasn't for him.
Oh, for his invisible friend?
Maybe invisible, possibly not.
Well,
Something happened to his friend. Apparently, he wanted the knife so he could cut loose his friend who was tied up.
there you go.
Yeah.
Wait, here we go.
Oh, interesting times on 29th Street Road, let me tell you.
You sure that wasn't 8th and 8th?
No, 26th Street. It's spreading.
It sounded like it was an 8th and 8th.
Now, I'm going to dedicate this next Greeley crime to our resident lunatic at work. Okay? A caller on Habitat Lane.
Wait. Habitat?
Yeah, no, Habitat is quieter than a siren
I
lane.
don't think we have any.
Like,
Where?
do an out. Oh, there it is. I'll make some Habitat noise.
What's this one? That's Habitat Lane.
That's a cow farting, I think. That's
a whole bunch of stuff.
So on Habitat Lane, reported, a caller in this neighborhood reported that their German Shepherd was bit by a Pikachu. I will repeat that. Reported that his German Shepherd dog was bitten by a Pikachu.
I'm sure he reported that after he smoked some marijuana. He probably had some.
Yeah.
I mean, the Pikachus that in that game, that virtual reality thing.
Pokemon.
They don't bite your animals. I think perhaps this guy was on some marijuana laced with something, and he had a hallucination. Right?
Do you discount the idea that there are rabid Pikachus?
No.
Isn't it true? Isn't the Pokemon game one of the things that happens is they're cute and very fluffy,
Yeah.
and then something like they're doused with water?
You're thinking of that one that you're thinking of the one that kills that that Japanese cartoon we watch where he kills Cthulhu.
Oh well, that's
He rides the bus, but then he's the bus of death.
Wait, not Mr. Pickles the dog.
No, he rides the bus of death. He's a little gray thing.
Oh, Totoro! No, Totoro.
Totoro
Totoro never gets mean like that.
Totoro rides the bus of death.
No, he does. That's the cat bus. The cat in Totoro kind of might represent.
The cat bus is the bus of death.
It's a very strange film.
I'm gonna put. Oh, there's a picture.
By the way, there's more to the Pikachu story because there's always got to be more to the Pikachu story. The caller offered to direct police to the address of the Pikachu.
Oh, nice.
However, when the police called back and arrived, amazingly enough, the caller wasn't there.
Honey.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
All I have to say is.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Drugs are bad. Drugs are bad.
Yes, indeed, ladies and gentlemen. These are the people living in Colorado. Let's go to some old times.
How do you spell Pikachu?
Pikachu.
Okay, I'm saying.
Because when you try and pick out friends, you Pikachus them.
P-I-C.
Pika. A-C-H-U.
A-C-H-U.
Yeah. It's like when you're trying to figure out what sneeze to do.
Has anyone
It's
seen
Pikachu.
Has anyone seen the Greeley Pikachu who bit the woman?
Bit the German Shepherd of the guy. Yeah, it doesn't say whether the person was male or female, actually. But if anybody really has seen a rabid Pikachu...
I just put out, has anyone seen the Greeley Pikachu who bit the caller's dog?
That's right. It's got to be tested for both COVID and Scooby-Doo germs.
Who told me? I think my sister said there's bubonic plague or squirrels have the plague.
Yeah, they found a squirrel with a plague.
Some kind of animal?
Yeah. Maybe that was the Pikachu. Maybe the Boobos made it look like a Pikachu and it was actually a rabid squirrel. I know. Rocky, watch me pull some Boobos out of my hat. Nothing up the sleeve. Presto. Okay, here we go. Let's do something from old times. Because these are stories that were literally in the newspaper 100 years ago that were pulled out by the folks at the Greeley Tribune. Adam Glover spent the last few... This is the entire story.
David Clint joined, like Clint Eastwood.
Welcome, Clint.
We're getting a whole host of good names.
Yeah.
A lot of parents had good taste in naming.
So this was a story. When Joyce and I moved to Greeley, Colorado...
You sure you know what your cowboy has for this?
Maybe no. Sit. You're doing. It's good. Thank you. When Joyce and I first moved to Greeley, and we got the newspaper. It was kind of funny because we were used to New York newspapers. There's a murder here, an heiress is killed there, a kidnapping, riots in the street. New York. The New York Post, the Daily News, the New York Times. There's like this onslaught of like serious news, and then we get the Tribune, and it's ordinance things and a neighbor complaining about something. One of the first things that we saw, I didn't realize, was cop log. One of the first headlines was cow poops on fence.
Yes.
And then neighbor upset about it. That was the headline of a newspaper, cow poops on fence. And I was like, we are not in New York anymore. Well, imagine already in Colorado, in northern Colorado, we still get stories like that, but these days, yeah, you do get assaults, you do get rapes. You get that woman who was a white slave, sex slaved. You also get a woman who was a murderer. I mean, you get real stories in the paper. And of course, it's all about COVID and BLM. Well, 100 years ago in Greeley, Colorado, in the Greeley Times, this is the headline, this is the story. Adam Glover spent the last few days working in a hayfield near Platteville. That's the story. That made the papers. There was nothing to write about in 1920 in Greeley, Colorado. Oh, that guy? Yeah, you know what? He spent a day, last couple, not just yesterday and the day before, but the last few days, he was working in the hayfield. Do we put that on page? No, that's page 1. That's above the fold, page 1, ladies and gentlemen, back in the day in Greeley Crimes and Old Times. By the way, here's another one from 100 years ago. PB, a registered Holstein cow owned by Sid Gray of Johnstown, is the state's leading producer of butterfat for the month of June. Well, you go, PB. But I wonder, was PB already starting to pollute the atmosphere with her farts and burps?
I believe so.
Yeah, she makes like milk butter
I think
burps.
she was churning that butter.
That's right. Well, you know, that's utterly impossible. Okay, utterly. Okay, sorry. Oh, I told you. I promised you. I keep my promises on this show. I told you that the title of this episode of Dave's Gone By is Jupiter Pluvius. Jupiter Pluvius is the title of the 755th episode that you are watching right now of Dave's Gone By. Why? Because a Colorado man named Jupiter Pluvius has been paid thousands of dollars by Washington State to help them. Do you want to take a guess with what, babe?
Due to lambada.
No, not due to lambada. That's a good guess.
Dental hygiene.
No.
I don't know.
Well, let me see. How do I whet your appetite with this one? He is. I can't wait. Let's see. Even when it's 100 degrees in the shade, he's especially helpful. That's kind of a theater reference there. Let's see if you get this one.
I don't know what that means.
Well, or 110 degrees in the shade, I should have said. Jupiter Pluvius was called to Washington State to help with their drought. He claims that he is a professional rainmaker.
Oh, yeah. I thought I was the rain queen.
But the rain queen, yeah! Little Counting Crows reference there. But so far, amazingly enough, Mr. Pluvius's efforts have failed. And it isn't known, go figure, it isn't known if he will have to return the money if it doesn't rain soon. Just a little rain. So, oh, that Jupiter Pluvius. And if you look up the name, if you Google Jupiter Pluvius, Pluvius means rain in Latin or something like that. So, anyway, oh, that Jupiter Pluvius. I wonder if he knows moose.
I think they're related, yeah.
Anyway, let's get back to some crime, shall we? Our Greeley Crimes and Old Times segment. A caller on 20...
Jerry and Diane joined.
Welcome.
They're just separately joining.
Welcome to Jerry, keeping 6 feet of distance from Diane. A caller on 21st Avenue reported that a guy was stripping and a girl was putting on her clothes in a car. Caller said he couldn't really explain what was going on. I think caller needs to take 10th grade biology, if you know what I'm saying, or health class. But the thing that I don't understand in this, I mean, get the image here. Yeah. The guy was stripping,
of course,
and the girl was putting on her clothes.
Yeah, that pretty much says, that's the relation. That's the relationship in every heterosexual.
He's like, yeah, and she's like, no,
but
clothes are going on.
Maybe that's why he didn't know what was happening, because they were both in different headspaces.
In different state, yeah. If they were both stripping, I think the caller would have gotten the idea.
Wow, David, look at all the people watching in the watch party. See a strip of.
Hello, welcome to Watch Party people. Hi, good to see you.
Bill is there. I see Bill.
Bill. Oh, Bill!
Yeah, our friend Bill.
Stage manager Bill. Bill, I don't know what you're doing with yourself.
Stage manager Bill.
Theater for the New City and La Mama have been, closed since March. I hope
think
you're.
he's managing stages in his mental palace.
I'm,
In his mind
aren't we
palace.
all in our mind palace, ladies and gentlemen?
Yes.
A man on 24th Avenue called while he was cussing at another man. By the way, it's amazing that this is not from 100 years ago. This is actually a recent thing, and they're still using the word cussing. A man called while he was cussing out another man. He said he was drunk and hung up on the operator. So this is the kind of thing. See, this is what police dispatchers have to deal with. Drunk people cussing up a veritable
I
storm.
don't like it when people cuss.
Yeah, well, I know you don't. That's why from now on, instead of saying the F word and the S word and other things, I'm just going to go, Jupiter Pluvius. Oh, Jupiter Pluvius. This Pluvius Zoom thing won't work. Oh, Jupiter. We'll see how long I can keep that up.
I usually like talking about Uranus more. I'm surprised you switched it.
Oh, there was, in the place where I work,
Wait.
thank you for reminding me this. In the place where I work, a children's book about horoscopes.
Oh.
Whoa.
Why didn't you get it from Mommy?
Because I couldn't take it out. We were first dressing it to come out. And it's like it's not really
I want to get down to the Old Town Road, so I can't ride no more.
I don't get it.
You know, okay.
Okay. Anywho, oh man, am I bald. All right, so I'm watching myself on a screen over there.
I'll get you your cowboy hat.
Yeah, please. So, but I want you to hear this part.
Just give me a second. You just hum or something.
Well, I'll tell everybody that in this horoscope book, Designed for Children, there wasn't a lot of information. It wasn't good. But I don't believe one iota of these things. But you're still going to thumb through and see what do they say about Aquarius, right? So I look, and for all the astrological signs of the zodiac, for each one, they say what planet they are connected to.
Here you go, honey.
If you're Gemini, I think
lights
it's
on.
Saturn. No, thank you. Is it lights?
Yes,
Yeah,
the
the
lights
lights are going. Look at this. The lights are on,
No, you have it backward.
but you're not home.
You have it backward. That goes in the back.
Oops, there we go.
Okay.
Oh, it matches the color. Look how
Yeah, but it
nice.
would look- because I was watching that Old Town Road guy. I keep thinking of the cowboy hat.
I'm going to come in real close just so you see that the lights are actually blinking and flashing. You see that? There they are.
I
There
think
they
I
are.
paid $3.99 for that hat. Oh wait, we got something.
Oh, what we get?
I don't know. I gotta read. Hold on. Turn. Okay.
Yeah.
Bill says,
Bill.
by the way,
Yeah.
doing regular streaming of stage readings, and this Monday at 7 p.m., new Charles Bush show is being streamed also.
Oh, Charles Bush, our friend in the Daverhood.
Yeah, Julie Halston.
Yes,
is
also.
on board,
Yeah.
and then you put TNC Net website.
Well, TNC is Theater for the New City, so it's TNC.
I'm gonna post that too.
Please do. Yeah, and yay for Charles Bush, a very, very fine playwright and actor. He was on the show just a few months ago before all this happened. And Julie Halston was on the program a few years back. So anyway, he's got a show that they're debuting via Zoom. Yay.
Is it this one, honey? That's the right one?
Yes, Theater for the New City, correct. So, but anyway, I'm sure you'll get this one in one bit. But every astrological sign for them in this book, it connected it to a particular planet, right? So Gemini might be Saturn, Sagittarius is Venus. What do you think my astrological planet was?
Uranus.
Got it in one. I was like, this is just too good. Apparently, Aquarius, my planet, is the moon rising in Uranus. No, I mean, this is the book. This is what it said. I was like, yep, it knows me. Maybe there is something to this astrology stuff after all. Anyway, we're doing Greeley Crimes and Old Times. Let's, every week, or no, just last week on Dave's Gone By on Greeley Crimes and Old Times, we go further afield. We move out of Greeley for a story or two, just to go elsewhere for stories that are weird and insane in the world around us. Well, last week we jumped on the continuing saga of Johnny Depp and Amber Heard And they're long broken up. They're long divorced. But Johnny Depp is in a lawsuit. He's suing this newspaper that called him a wife beater in England. I think it's the Mirror that did it. And so he's putting himself and Amber through the rigmarole of saying all these absolutely embarrassing, terrible. The man has no shame, I guess, at this point. But being forced to just own up to these insane, ridiculous things that he either did or is accused of doing, or that Amber Heard did or is accused of doing. So we talked about this last week. Okay, and I'm sure you remember this. Well, let's recap, shall we? The continuing saga of Johnny and Amber, the story that keeps on giving. When we last peeked in on our lovey-dovey couple, Johnny accused Amber of taking a dump in their bed. She countered that the Pluvius belonged to one of their dogs. He countered that the dogs were too small to make such a massive dump, so it had to be her. In fact, he apparently had evidence connecting her directly to the feces. But now part 2 of the continuing saga of Johnny and Amber, as witnessed in the newspaper libel case currently occurring in the UK. Allegedly, Johnny Depp tried to write Amber Heard's name in P inside their trashed rental home. Heard accused the Pirates of the Caribbean star of whipping out his privates while being escorted off the Queensland, Australia property in March of 2015. The drunken Depp told security, quote, "I need to take an effing piss. It's my house." He then went back inside and did it right in front of them to nervous laughter, said Amber Heard. He said he was trying to write my name on the walls and the carpet. I don't think it's long enough. Anyway, however, Johnny Depp's estate manager, Ben King, told London's High Court he found no urine in the rental home. Though he did find the tip of the actor's severed finger following a row between the pair. Said King, quote, "I did not see any sign of urine, didn't smell it, as I would have if someone urinated around the house. And the cleaning team that we brought in made no mention of pee." And by the way, Amber Heard's name is not the only message Depp allegedly tried to write. He tried to write that one in P. He also scrawled "I love you" on a mirror using blood from his sliced finger. A lawyer representing the newspaper that Depp is suing asked again about the wee-wee. This is quotes from the transcript.
I just a picture of a unicorn dreaming of a toilet. Look at it. You see the little unicorn?
Oh, that's so beautiful.
He's dreaming of a toilet.
Here's a quote. "Amongst all this blood and paint, are you sure there was no urine?" "Quite sure," King replied.
Cockeye. Put it right.
Oh, sorry, okay.
No, it's not right. Look at me.
Oh, I like it. There we go. Okay. Yeah. So King is on the witness stand, saying that he's quite sure there was no urine. Depp insists he's never assaulted Heard, and he accuses her of severing his finger when she threw a bottle of vodka at him. The actress counters that Depp did it to himself when he smashed the phone against a wall. Tune in next week for episode 3 in the continuing saga of Johnny and Amber, brought to you by those 3 great components of every Hollywood star: fame, drugs, and money. What a marvelous, what a lovely couple. Don't you think? Like, 2 of the most beautiful people alive, and this is what they...
I don't think they're beautiful.
Back in the day.
I don't find them beautiful at all.
Amber Heard is...
Johnny Depp needs a good scrubbing.
Well, yeah, and also he's my age now. You know, he's not Benny and June age, or and so forth. Anywho, let's finish up our Greeley crimes and old times for this Saturday, July 18th, 2020, with a little more crime, ladies and gentlemen. A caller on 12th Street.
1 second. Oh, well,
Ringing a phone call, I think. Well, she wanted her husband removed from their home because he wouldn't get off the bed so she could make it. Police said she was told this was not a police issue. I don't know, this was back in the middle of the pandemic. You couldn't get me off the bed.
No,
Like
that's,
that. I would just be lying there all day working on the computer, like, what? It's time to eat? Can't I just, I don't know, order food in and have them bring it right to the bed?
Yes.
I totally got like that after 2 or 3 weeks during the initial, like, March and April part of the pandemic. It was like, I have to go to the bathroom, and there's a Snapple bottle across the room, but it means I still have to get up anyway to get it. Snapple bottle, bathroom, maybe I'll wait, and I'll put some of the urine in my extra stomach and have it sit there a bit. But anywho, let us close with something very, very important, ladies and gentlemen. I'm so glad I have the hat on. We have an alert. We have not just an alert, ladies and gentlemen. We have an alert involving Fort Lupton. Honey, it's a Lupton alert!
Alert, 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 alert.
Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, it's a Fort Lupton alert. To Fort Lupton, I should explain what the hell that is. It just means that we have a story about Fort Lupton in Colorado, and nothing really special about it, except that I love saying the name Lupton. Say it with me. Lupton. Those of you at home, Lupton. Isn't that beautiful? It's not Lipton tea, man. And if it were Lupton, Lupton, no one cared, but Lupton. Lupton. So that's why we have a Fort Lupton alert. Lupton, 2 Fort Lupton men are in a court battle over a jackass. I guess a third jackass, right?
It shows you people watching the little things.
Oh, yeah, I don't see that. I don't get, well, what does it show? How does it show lots and lots of people enjoying this program, I hope. So in Fort Lupton, these 2 men are battling over a jackass. One said he wanted a highly bred jackass for breeding. The other man bought...
Is this recent?
This is old times. Okay. This is old times. So the other man bought a jackass for $65, altered its appearance, and sold it as a pure breed for $800. That's a lot of money for a donkey, but even now. The victim is now suing the other man for $3,000. So first, how do you alter the physiognomy of
I believe that means castrate.
Oh, God, no. What? No.
Yes.
If it's for breeding, that's the last thing you would do.
Well, then maybe that's why he didn't get money. I put a horse saying, no way. Look, the horse says, no way.
No way. Yeah, I mean, to alter the appearance of a donkey so that it looks like a pure breed. What? You just...
Maybe they gave it a haircut. They might have spray painted him.
A nice shampoo. Yeah, right. Shampoo. Special horns or something. No,
they don't have horns.
Donkeys don't have.
Just, no.
Yeah, maybe penis extender.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, for breeding. Maybe they just added a little,
What's that movie, that porn movie where they put it in there with Mark Wahlberg?
Boogie Nights. Yeah. Maybe they did the Boogie Nights thing to this. You've heard of Donkey Kong? This is Donkey Dong. So ladies and gentlemen, but still, it was, guy paid like $65, bought it for $65, sold it for $800, and now the guy who was defrauded is suing back for $3,000. And I'm saying, I don't know, I'm sorry. Whether then or now, $3,000 is a lot of money to pay for a piece of ass. That's comedy. And that is Greeley Crimes and Old Times for this Saturday morning, July 18th.
Mr. Horace Greeley was no fool. I'm sure that you'll agree with me that Greeley was no fool. But he is getting that Mr. Greeley was no fool. Yippee-yi, yippee-yi, yippee-yi-yi-yi, yippee-yi, yippee-yi, yippee.
You're watching Dave's Gone By on this Saturday morning. I'm Dave Lefkowitz. That's my wonderful, darling, and adorable wife, Joyce, who's does so much for the show. She's on the computer helping out, doing a watch party, getting people to tune in, and giving a little emojis to make the to make the show more interactive on her end, and on my end, farts just come out.
Ow!
Well, what happened? What?
My knee.
Oh, and hurting her. She just twisted her knee, trying to move where she's sitting.
So you don't want to talk about that show we're watching?
Which one?
The music one.
Oh, we're having one of the things that we're watching, because there's, we can't go out to eat and we can't go to a show or to a movie or anything, so we've been watching lots of TV and came upon this show that must have been done a few years ago now called Soundbreakers, which is not quite like Windbreakers. It's really, I'm enjoying the hell out of it. I think it's on Acorn now. And it's just how producers and studios have changed the way music is created and sounds. So it's produced by George Martin's company, George Martin, the guy who did the Beatles, and it's all about everything.
He looked like an accountant, but he kicked some butt.
Oh, just absolute genius guy. And I'm just having a great time watching that. If you get a chance to see that, if your library gives you Acorn, or if you want to pay for it, Acorn has mostly, it's got a lot of British shows, British comedies, British mysteries, and things like that. But they'll also have some documentaries. And this docu-series called Soundbreaking, I think is the name of it. And it's just, because that's my era. Most of the music is from the 50s through the 80s, a bit of 90s and hip-hop and current folks as well. But it's about the story of going from, like, recording in your home studio, a 1-track, a 4-track, a 16 instance. What do you think of the show?
It was okay. I think I like it better than the other one about the producer, but I don't like a lot of the bands, so it's hard for me.
Oh, yeah, we also watched this documentary about this guy who produced a lot of music that I don't particularly listen to. He's the producer of Bublé and of Celine Dion. I've already forgotten his name. These are very talented people, but it's just not what I choose to listen to. But he's one of these guys who is both a complete jerk in a way and enviable, because he is a free spirit. He will, he'll be married, he'll have a couple of kids, and then one day he'll just kind of get up and say, well, I'm done with this. Yeah. Things are getting a little too deep and a little too heavy.
He had 10 children.
Yeah. By 3 different or 4 different wives and women, and it's sort of like, on one level you envy that freedom, you envy that ability to just say, I'm in too tight. I can walk away. I can just go and do what I want to do all day, every day with my life. And then you go, you got kids, you son of a bitch. You've got a wife. You've got an ex-wife. You got deal. Is that fair?
No.
You're not allowed to do that over and over again and just keep walking away. Because he seems really, really happy with his current wife.
Yeah, but
fine.
Who cares, right? Really, who cares?
They'll be divorced in 5 years.
Honestly, I don't care at all, about his life.
Really?
No.
You're not at all interested? How come? Why is that?
Because it doesn't matter to me. It's like, who is he? I don't care.
Well, he is an extremely successful producer. That's that interests me. George Martin certainly interests me.
I'd rather listen to Ricky Martin shake his bonbons.
I think you'd rather see Ricky Martin shake his bonbons, if you know what I'm saying. And I think you don't. But, ladies and gentlemen, we have so much more to do on this episode of the Dave's Gone By Facebookio Podcastio Programmio of the Stream. We have our, that's what I want to do. Let's go for some theater. Just for a little bit. There's not that much to talk about. But I've been a theater critic, a playwright, an actor, a director, a theater journalist for many, many years. So I care about and love the theater. Although I do, over recent years, I feel that leeching away a little bit, both being away from New York.
It's because there's no theater to see.
Right. And now it's like, I thought when there would be no Broadway, no off-Broadway, no off-off, I would spend every night just watching these Zoom presentations. I saw, and they were very good. I saw a couple of them. I saw Love Letters with Bryan Cranston and Sally Field. I saw a play by the guy who wrote Bad Jews that worked very well on Zoom. So I thought I'll be watching the National Theater shows. I'll be doing this and this link. And I'm just like, I'm missing, and I feel bad about it, because even when I was an inveterate theater goer, going 3 or 4 times a week,
3 or 4, you've gone up to 7 to 10.
I'm sorry, was that?
7 to 10 times a week.
Sometimes when I would be at a conference or in another city, I'd see, or at a festival, I would easily see 6, 7, 8, 9 shows during a week. And even in New York, in my first years, I would go as often as I possibly could before I collapsed from exhaustion. And the one thing I'd be upset about is, oh my gosh, there's this stuff going on in England at on the West End. And I can't see those shows unless they come into New York. And now there's the opportunity, like every 2 weeks, the National Theater broadcasts in terrific quality the shows that they're doing, or were doing up until March. And I should be like, that's appointment television for me. And realize I don't have the time. I just want to work on my stuff. And I don't. I feel like I should. I feel like I'm missing something culturally in me by not seeing these things. And yet, I didn't want to pay. It's funny. I would have been willing to pay, I don't know, about $100, but $75-something to see Hamilton on Broadway. I know.
1 second.
To see Hamilton on Broadway, because I wasn't in town when it opened. I couldn't get press tickets.
$18.99 to get Disney and watch it.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. I was like, the Hamilton fever as a theater critic, a theater person. I'm like, I caught Hamilton theater. Of course I want to see this. I've listened to the cast album.
You're not supposed to go to work if you have that.
Oh, that's true, Hamilton. You're not supposed to go anywhere if you have Hamilton fever. You get shot by somebody. So, as long as you don't throw away your shot. But thing is, so I would have paid a lot of money to go and sit there and just see, okay, what's all the hype about? It can't be as good as everybody's saying, but I'm sure it's really good. I'm sure it's something that I should see in my lifetime, blah, blah, blah. And then the COVID thing comes, and now it's available as a stage theater presentation. They haven't made a film of it. They filmed the stage presentation, as the whole world knows, and it's on Disney Plus. So all you have to do is subscribe to Disney Plus for $7 a month.
David, I wish you would eat your cracker, your wheat.
Oh, we're not doing the competition. Well, I can.
I don't think we have any.
Oh, no. But $7 a month to get Disney, or if you pay $12, you get Disney bundled with ESPN and some crap. And suddenly I could see Hamilton. I could see the show that I have missed for the past 5 freaking years. I didn't see it at the Public Theater. I didn't see it on Broadway. Wanted to see it. Figured at some point I could afford to get in, and then it would run long enough that there would be some seats on the balcony that would be $90. And I'd say, okay, I'll do it, right? And here I am, and I'm like, I don't want to subscribe to Disney Plus. Yeah. $7. I was going to pay $90 to go see it. Now I'm thinking
No, but you can't pay for 1 month. I think they rigged it so you have to have it for a couple months.
Oh, is that true?
Disney knows everyone would join and then drop it, so I think you have to,
But
our friends are Disney people, they know.
But the thing is, people pay for a diesel seat to Hamilton. They'll pay regular tickets are like $200 or $250. So basically,
because Lin-Manuel Noriega is so egalitarian and so everyone can watch, right?
All right, okay. Well, you know what? His is apparently one of the only shows that is continuing the Cobra for their actors and stuff while they're.
And he should, because he's raking in millions of dollars.
Okay, all right, okay.
I love it when the power elite are merciful. It's just so. It's. So
I do love it when the power elite are merciful, because it's terrible when they're not. You know. I hope to be a merciful power elite person. It will never happen. But I love to be. Wouldn't you love to be a magnanimous king? Wouldn't you here? Wouldn't that be the best thing ever? Wouldn't you like to
Put
be?
your hat forward, king. It's
like when young kids grow up and they think they want to be president, and they think they're going to be the best president ever, and they're going to just. It's so simple. Make peace among everybody. Get people to sit down and talk.
People are idiots.
Who's
the guy who says that? The naked one.
Who's that?
The comedian who calls people idiots all the time.
Andre.
Eric
Andre, yeah. But I mean, don't we all have that fantasy? Not of just being the leader of the free world, but being the best. Really? You never wanted to? Really?
I have no delusions of grandeur.
I'm not. I don't have quite leadership capacity in that kind of big way. I wish I did. But I could also see being like a good Mussolini. like a charismatic.
Dictator.
Well, yeah. A good, lovable dictator, because that's what, at a certain point, what people want in bad times. Yeah, in good times, people, they want art, they want freedom of expression, they want this, they want that. But in bad times, when you're afraid of terrorism, you're afraid of not eating, you're afraid of not having a job, a roof over your head, of monsoons and storms, you want mama or dada to come and say, I'll make things okay.
No, I don't.
Things are, really? What do you, how do you?
I want a Triscuit. Do we have any Triscuits, Bubba?
I don't think we do. I can go get some.
No, I don't want any more because I shouldn't eat them. But
Right, yeah, so, well, anywho, I want to be the great magnanimous dictator of the
I
world.
want a Triscuit.
Joyce wants a Triscuit. And it wasn't a Triscuit, it's a wheat thin.
I'd like maybe some carrot. I'm going to go down and get carrots.
Oh, get some carrots. No, I'm
I'll
not
make
going
you your egg cream. I'm going to go get carrots.
to. That'd be, well, don't make that cream, just add spritz, because I put in the syrup to
No,
my
that's
vanilla.
not an egg cream. That's a vanilla soda.
That's vanilla soda, yeah.
You want that now?
Yeah, I'll have that instead. I can't have both. So I'll
You
just
don't
have,
want egg cream?
I'll have vanilla soda. All right, make me an egg cream, because they're so delicious.
I'll give you the vanilla
There's
soda.
no, usually Rabbi Saul is on the show, and he loves egg
Can I
creams.
put lemon seltzer? No.
Not in an egg cream, no.
Okay. Oh.
No, do not, please. Anywho, let's do some. Inside Broadway. Before we bring Jeff Goodman on the show, who, by the way, was a theater critic for many years
your
too.
phone turned on, baby?
I do. And also, I know I can call him because Jeff Goodman will be joining us. Call at 11. Oops, not 111. This number.
Here, buddy.
Thank you much. Oh, thank you, sweetie. Oh, we got this. This is perfect. Thank
I'll
you.
make the other one. I need some carrots.
Italian vanilla like soda. Delish. Let's go. Inside Broadway. Inside Broadway, a look at theater on and off Broadway and beyond. Brought to you by Total Theater and Performing Arts Insider. Curtain going up. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, Inside Broadway we go every Saturday here, just for a little bit, just to talk about the theater, while we can't actually go and do any theater. So all Broadway shows, as we know, were suspended on March 12th. That was the first day of no Broadway, or off. I think off made it to the end of that week, and then everything stopped by March 13th or 14th. And the shows are currently on hiatus until January 3rd. Of next year, with the likelihood is they're not going to start up on January 4th. Likelihood is March, April, in a safe way, but not distanced. They're going to get people back into these theaters, they hope, if there isn't a second spike. We'll see. Anyway, this is kind of cool news coming from the United Kingdom, that on October 23rd, so they're not waiting until next year, this fall, October 23rd, the longest running show in the world, The Mousetrap, which is playing in London's West End, is going to reopen in a safe way. They're figuring it out. Apparently, they're going to remove every other row in the theater, and they're going to do this show, which is almost a Broadway-sized house, for an audience of 200. So instead of the usual capacity of 800 people, which is Broadway-sized, they're just going to have them really staggered. People can sit together, I guess, if they are together, but there will be enough distance between them that they can do the Mousetrap. Now, the producers of the show say that this is a special case. It's not going to be permanent for the show. They can't make it happen economically permanently, but it's a beginning. It's a way to get things going that can work for this particular show, that I guess has reserves and account, because it's been running since, 1950 or something like that, long before the Fantastics. So let's see how it goes. Let's see how England manages with the pandemic between now and October. But fingers crossed that they're figuring out a good way, because they know that on Broadway they can't do that. They can't remove every other row. They can't have 300 people in a theater made for 1,400 and expect to not hemorrhage $1 million a week. The economics just won't work, even if you get concessions from the unions and such. So we'll see. We'll see how that goes. Here's another in-person thing much, much earlier than October in Chicago. And this comes courtesy of a guy I know, a critic named...
alert you, David. This is the last of the chocolate syrup. There's no more chocolate syrup in the house. I know. The wailing and the crying and the wailing.
See, if I had a benevolent dictator,
Yeah.
he would make sure that there was chocolate syrup to be had.
Rabina just joined. Maybe she could bring some chocolate syrup too.
Who?
Rabina.
Rabina. Well, welcome, Rabina. Anywho, so I'm just mentioning that in Chicago, this coming week, Chicago's Greenhouse Theater Center will be doing the show Judy and Liza.
What's Greenhouse Theater Center? Is it a greenhouse?
Well, it's called the Greenhouse Theater Center. I don't think it's probably a greenhouse like where you're propagating new work. Our friend Mary Shankarnage would know a lot more about.
Oh yeah, Mary.
But this is from Chris Jones, who is a very fine critic. He actually writes for the Daily News now as well as about Chicago. But this is going to be an in-person show, indoors, in Lincoln Park, Chicago. What? Judy and Liza. Tickets are $25.
Yeah.
The seating is for 44 people maximum, which is 25% of the place's capacity. It's like a 200-seat theater that will allow only 44 people in it, socially distanced, except families can sit together.
I'd rather watch it streaming.
Would you?
Mm-hmm.
Even if it's really safe and you're wearing, all the audience is going to be wearing masks.
I wear my pajamas.
Well, yeah, that's true. There'll be one seat between patrons, every other row, no lingering, no social thing.
How do you go pee-pee during intermission?
No intermission.
Oh, that's smart.
So, and they're going to try and see audience members like the moment they
That's
get
very smart.
they get to. Well, yeah, except you still have to get everybody in there.
But what happens if you have a weak bladder like me and you need to go peepers?
That's why they make dites.
Oh my God.
There you go. Or you're like,
sit watching a show,
yeah.
6 feet away from everybody, petrified someone's going to cough or sneeze while wearing a diaper.
I think the diaper is the fun part of that whole equation. Or you could be like Johnny Depp and say, hey, I'm indoors. I don't need to get to a toilet. I'm going to write somebody's name on this theater seat.
Okay.
Yeah, I think that could work. But,
When is it?
no, that's what I'm saying. It's opening this coming week.
When? This week?
Yeah. Not October. Like,
In Florida?
they're doing it. No, in Chicago.
Yeah.
And what I don't understand...
They're hot.
What I don't understand is how they're going to... they say as soon as somebody gets to the building, they're going to try and seat them.
Yeah,
But I keep people from clustering.
You always get there late. Like, no one should cluster outside.
Well, they probably have a rule of, like, please be here 10 minutes beforehand. Form a line.
They should just get their phone numbers and text them when they want them to come in.
That's very cool. That's very clever. What also makes it a little easier for this show to do what they're doing.
David, it's 10:54.
Yeah, I know. I texted Jeff, and he texted back, so we're in good shape.
You get texters?
Okay, take a text us. Yes, we did. The show called Judy and Liza was already playing in March. So they're reopening a show that was already there rather than doing a new one. So that makes it easier to remount. It's also a non-equity show. So they're not having to worry about unions and paying the actors X, Y, and Z. Yeah.
Is it just a singing thing or is it a play?
Ooh, I think it's a review.
It's just like two people singing.
Yeah, one playing Judy Garland, the other playing Liza
Piano
Minnelli.
player, that's it.
Yeah, exactly. So they can do it. Maybe it's more of an orchestra
Do you
too.
know what Equity's saying about reopening?
Equity is figuring stuff out.
Mm-hmm.
Actors Equity, especially for Broadway, says, well, for now, if you bought any tickets between now and January 3rd, you get your money back.
Mm-hmm.
And they're saying, we're working on getting going again.
But there's no plan.
Then they're trying to figure out a plan. They want to see if New York spikes again. And they also have to figure out, because they realize that it's not like they can take 10 seats out of 10 rows out of a Broadway house and have 400 people. They can't make the numbers work. So, anyway, The singers will be distanced in this Julie and Liza show. The band will be masked, except the reed player.
No kidding.
Of course, because So, but he'll be far away from everybody else. They're going to keep the reed player upstairs.
He's going to be in Newark.
He'll be zoomed in.
He'll be zoomed in.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, from what we learned in that 24-track, music producing studio, you don't even need them. You could just get an electronic reed player.
Oh, exactly. But they want to have real instruments. I applaud that. I applaud the
effort. And the reed player's probably saying, "Thank you, God, I finally have work."
And by the way, he's a Trevor reed player, just so you know. Oh, but we got like a couple minutes to finish up this segment. So first of all, I want to remind you that Performing Arts Insider is the Bible of Broadway since 1944. I know there's no Broadway right now, but there will be an off Broadway as well. If you want to keep on top of where the situation is in the New York theater world, get Performing Arts Insider. What it will tell you is the shows that are supposed to be reopening in early January, or early spring, I should say. It will also give you off Broadway day by day listings, as well as, this is kind of cool, guide to all the virtual performances. So until then, if you are the person who is looking to see some theater, and you do have the time at home, and you want to watch great recordings of important shows that were done, either on public television or great performances itself, the actual show great performances on PBS, or Zoom recordings of new shows that are being done. There's even a whole new column in Performing Arts Insider that lists all the links where you can watch these things. It's Performing Arts Insider, the Bible of Broadway. Find out more at performingartsinsider.com. And remember, you can either get it as a hard copy, or for a little bit cheaper, we can just send it to you as a PDF. But it is a good old-fashioned hard copy magazine that we're very, very proud to do. I want to have just the time to do a farewell from the Daverhood to an actress who passed away on July 16th, Phyllis Somerville. Died at the age of 76 of natural causes, yay. She did theater in college while getting an English degree, and you know her from movies like The Big C and the Benjamin Button film, but we want to talk about her theater stuff. I remember seeing her in some shows, because she did like a dozen off-Broadway shows, like The Night Hank Williams Died and The Spitfire Grill. She also has some Broadway credits, including she made her debut in the 1974 Broadway hit Over Here that ran, I think, a full year or more. In 1978, she starred in a revival of Moss Hart and George S. Kaufman's play Once in a Lifetime. Check out other people in the cast with her: John Lithgow, Treat Williams, Jane Meadows, you all know, of course, from The Honeymooners, and George S. Irving. And in 1983, she was a standby for the young woman part in Night Mother. And her last show, it's amazing, she was just on Broadway about a year ago in To Kill a Mockingbird, the Aaron Sorkin adaptation of To Kill a Mockingbird. She wasn't in March, she had left in 2019. But we do want to give a theatrical farewell to Phyllis Somerville from the Daverhood inside Broadway.
It's the famous gay white way, where the night is bright as day. A Broadway grand. It's not just a thoroughfare, it's a tingle in the air. A Broadway grand. It's excitement, it's romance, it's all fun and song and dance. This wonderland. You can be a millionaire quicker here than anywhere. A Broadway grad. You audition very well. You're in great form, you can tell. A Broadway grad. As you do your lash and tape, we'll call you in all they say. A Broadway grad. Then it happens we pick you, and your dream is coming true, just as you planned. And that opening night is here, and the critics raise and cheer. A Broadway grand. crazy carousel of fantastic wishing well. One big brass band. Every night at curtain time, you can feel excitement climb. Make Broadway grand.
Broadway is grand, ladies and gentlemen, and very grand to be here with you on Dave's Gone By. We've got so much stuff still to do. We've got our Colorado Limerick of the Damned, our Wretched Pun of Destiny. We'll even have a little time for potato news, and our Today Yesterday quiz for July 18th, which today is. So we're calling in one moment.
I could call him too.
Actually, if he's not calling, we can call him at that number. But my old friend, not that he's that old.
Do you want to
but,
dial his number?
his number's on my phone.
Hold on.
Oh, he's calling.
Okay, go ahead.
Is this Jeff Goodman?
Oh, I'm trying to find David Lefkowitz to buy a condo in Florida.
Nobody's moving to Florida. Well, actually, there's going to be a lot of cheap real estate if more old people keep dying in Florida, man.
Exactly. We have plenty to offer.
But you have a thing in Vegas. Vegas has also been, or Nevada has been having spikes in.
Has been. It's getting me a little nervous because I'm supposed to fly to Vegas a week from Wednesday.
Wow. Are you even going to? Are you going to get on a plane, bro?
Yeah, I have to because I don't know if you remember, but I'm moving to Vegas, and this is the last week I can go because I have a second skin surgery scheduled for when I come back.
Oh.
And I have the 2 week quarantine when I come back.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh, God.
And then I have my skin surgery,
Mm-hmm.
and as soon as I'm cleared to go, I'm going to move like 2 weeks after I'm cleared.
You're officially going to move to Las Vegas. You've been wanting to for years now, but
Yeah, so I have not seen the place that I'm buying yet in person. I've only seen it like through Zoom calls.
well, wait a minute. I thought you had a place. I thought you had a home in Vegas that you would be moving into.
I do. However, get this one. I have a tenant there.
Mhm.
You can't make people move.
Oh, I know.
Yes.
That's right. That's right. You can't evict them either. You can't do anything.
No.
They're
I can't
there.
They don't even have to pay rent if they don't want to.
I hope they are. Are they?
They are.
Oh, good. Otherwise, we name them and shame them right here on the show. Oh, and by the way, congratulations to cousin Cynthia, who bought a house. She bought a house in Arizona that she can't move into at this moment. So it's a
Why can't
crazy.
you move in?
Yeah. Sorry,
Why can't you move in?
Cynthia, you heard the question. Why can't you move in? Well, she doesn't get. I assume she doesn't get on a plane, let alone.
You can drive. It takes like 8 hours.
Yeah. Well, they live in New York, so it would be a 3-day drive. Yeah. So, Jeff, you there? By the way, I didn't even give this man a proper introduction. So this fella is Jeff Goodman. I've known him because he's a theater critic and a friend of a friend also of Charlie Gross that we have both known for about 3.5-4 decades now. Jeff is a former theater critic, and we just became fast friends. He also lives out on the island.
Temporarily.
Yeah. No, Cynthia is saying they can't move to Arizona because of COVID. There's no hospital beds if they get sick out there. I guess it's spiking in Arizona too.
Well, Arizona's worse than Nevada.
Is it really? Yeah. Well, but in Arizona, at least it's just temporary.
Oh.
Get it? Get it? That's a joke.
Were you trying to be funny again?
Yeah, just a little bit. Just kind of. So I mentioned earlier in the show that I've known Jeff for all these years. He has been on our show. You are on the 18th episode. That's the first time we had you on the program back in 2003, early 2003. Many, many times since then. There was about 2 or 3 years when you co-hosted the program when we were on WGBB on Long Island. And we still check in with you every once in a while.
And when we went to Stony Brook all those times.
Oh, God, I remember that, the Little Big Time. We tried doing a whole other show. We were having a great time. And then, hell with that radio station. But anyway.
Whose fault was that?
It was my fault. I totally admit. I don't want to go there. I don't want to talk about that. But what I do want to talk about is you mentioned, first of all, you mentioned moving or wanting to move to Las Vegas and getting another place that you're buying that you saw it on Zoom, and yet you physically won't be there before you buy it?
Well, as long as they don't close Vegas before next Wednesday, I'm going to get on a plane to take a look at it.
Oh, so you don't have to commit to it until you see it?
I'm pretty much committed to it because I did a tour on Zoom.
Yeah.
And we're in, I made an offer, I have an accepted offer, and I think right now we're in the final days of my due diligence period.
Right.
And I did an inspection, so I wrote a list of what I want fixed in the apartment.
Good.
And then they come back and say, we're either going to fix it or we'll give you money, or we're not going to fix it and not give you any money.
So you have a person there who's kind of the broker is working in your interest, who's saying this is this and this and this, right?
Well, I not only have a property broker, but because I have a place in Vegas, I also have a separate person who's a property manager.
Good,
so
good.
But questions I can pull them.
Now, the other thing that you mentioned, though, is you mentioned, I have a second skin surgery. Like, people might be thinking that you've got skin cancer, God forbid, or something like that. This is elective. I don't know how much we've told about all this over the past few years, but Jeff is half the man he used to be, as Paul McCartney.
A third of the man.
A third of the man he was. Jeff, at his highest weight, was, what were you, about 450?
I was 527 pounds.
Gewalt. And I knew this, man. I mean, you were walking with a cane. You were enormous. You couldn't sit.
Reason. I was walking at 527.
Wow.
The cane was because my hip was bad.
Well, yeah, but you're putting all this pressure on your hip by being that weight. You couldn't sit in the theater comfortably. Sorry?
No, I wasn't fitting into theater comfortably. That was a big problem.
Yeah, I mean, you're as big a theater goer almost as I am, and here you want to go into these tiny little Broadway seats, and...
Turns out they're not that tiny.
Well, I don't know. Comparatively. Maybe for leg room.
Let me tell you, I fit in fine now.
Well, what? Now
they're wide today.
Well, now they're going to be couches. One hopes. Yeah. That'll be the good thing that comes out of COVID. They're going to make things more, you'll have room to breathe in a theater. Joyce is supposed to say something, yeah. Oh, I also want to apologize to people and to Jeff, because Jeff was supposed to be, you were supposed to see him. You were supposed to see the transformation, because I put up pictures of Jeff with the shows that he's been on over the years. And in the photos, he's a very, very large man, right? We've never had him on video. And he had, surgery to have weight loss and also just good dieting practice. And it's not just been a couple of months now. It's been, 2 or 3 years?
It's been almost 2.5 years.
2.5 years, Matt Mazel. And you're in the what? You're in the 170, 180 range, is it?
This morning I was 180 pounds, 0.2. I can't break that 180 barrier.
You don't need to. You're fantastic. I understand that this man at his peak was 527 pounds. He's now under 181. Think about it. And I've seen him. We've gone to the theater together in his new persona, if you will. It's fantastic. Okay? Nobody gives you in a good way, nobody gives you a second look because you're completely normal.
I don't get anyone telling me, because I think I've told the story a million times. I had a woman, but I always tried to be nice because I knew I was big, and I kind of always apologized. I said, if I ever make you uncomfortable, the person in the next seat, I said, just tell me.
Yeah.
This one woman took a look at me and went, wow, you take a lot of that seat.
Nice. Real nice. Yeah. But then again, you got people you're sitting next to who might have paid $150 for a ticket, and they're going to realize, I'm not going to have leg room. I'm not going to. No, I mean, you understood that. You weren't oblivious.
I would. Yeah. If there was a way to lift up that armrest, I would have lifted up the armrest.
But here's the deal: you did something better. You lost some weight, and then you got some surgical. You got the gastric stomach thing, yes, or whatever it's called.
Yeah, no, I had a full gastric bypass, but that's only like a kick. It's really a kickstart. It's not, I just want to stress to people, if anyone is considering it, fully think it's a great thing. However, you have to be mentally ready for it. It's only a kickstart to weight loss. What it does is it helps you lose weight faster, so you see the results, and it prepares you mentally.
Mm. So
but if you go back to your old habits, not only will you gain back what you've lost, because everyone loses like 50 to 100 pounds, depending on how big you are.
Mm-hmm.
But if you don't follow the rules and go back to your old habits, you're going to gain it all back, and then probably more.
Wow. But isn't there the thing of they do a thing to your stomach where if you eat too much, you're going to explode, or it blows up the thing?
What it does is there are two types of, well, there are three, but two are used commonly these days.
Yeah.
There's the bariatric sleeve, and then there's a gastric bypass. The bariatric sleeve, they cut out a part of your stomach, and they make your stomach much smaller, so it looks like a little banana.
Oh, yeah.
The gastric bypass is for people who need a lot more help.
Oh, okay.
And they take your stomach and they completely cut off a piece of your stomach, and they separate your small intestine. Your stomach is then resectioned to the end of your small intestines. And
yeah,
it's kind of weird, but so you're completely bypassing most of your small intestines. Now, either way, if you eat too much, your stomach is a muscle, and the stomach will actually enlarge. So it'll, if you, it's like a balloon. If you put more air in a balloon than it will fit, it'll just keep going and going and going.
At some point, it'll pop. No,
but the balloon is not a living organism. So the stomach will just expand, just like your skin expands to
true. To take in when you get
mass.
Yeah. Oh, so you had that done, and then you already looked amazing, but then you had to have skin surgery to remove flaps and folds.
You don't have to, but there's a large, you have a lot of skin.
Mm.
It does shrivel up a little bit, so it's not that bad. But I had a ton of skin. The first section I took out below my belly button and above my bikini line.
Yeah.
And the skin, when they stretched it out, was 5 feet by 2.5 feet, I think, or maybe 3 feet.
Jesus, yeah.
But it was a lot of skin, because as you know, I went from a 68-inch waist to now a 36-inch waist. So this.
I have to tell, because I'm like a 33. No joke.
Right.
I mean, I've got a big of a tummy. I would be like 32 if I were the proper weight, but it's like, think about that. Jeff is now 36 weight. That's a completely normal waist. It is fantastic. Although it's interesting that when you had that surgery, they threw in a bikini wax for free.
Well, they do. You get a free shave.
There you go. But so now you're going to go in for, God willing, it should go well, more surgery.
Yes. They removed the stomach part. There's a little piece that they actually didn't remove enough skin, so they're going to do a little revision there.
Yeah.
And now they're going to take off the side skin, which is, basically like a little bit below my armpits.
Yeah.
And they pull that because there's some. I don't want to go into.
No, please don't. Please don't. No, don't. Yeah.
But I do have a lot of skin around my man boobs. So,
don't we all? Well, that's because it's fatty muscle tissue, isn't it? Like women's boobs is fat, so it's no.
My fat was stored under there, so the skin. What happens when you're storing all this fat volume? Your skin grows because it also is a muscle, an organ. It's an organ or a muscle, and it grows.
Uh-huh. It is gross.
Do it on a potato. Do it on a potato.
No.
Joyce we're going to demonstrate what Jeff is saying brilliantly. Joyce thought of doing this on a potato. So keep explaining. We have a potato that we're holding up for the camera, and we're going to explain.
Don't you potato-splain to me.
Spud-splaining. We do it all the time. Okay, so I've got a potato. I'm holding him up. Hi.
So I have a lot of skin around my man boobs.
Yes.
Now, normally, if you want to do that, you would have something called the gynecomastia.
Oh.
But the gynecomastia is not covered. And it also I really didn't want to. I was not looking forward to that surgery because what they do is they take off all the excess skin. So they take off all your skin, and then they go to the skin that they removed. They cut out your nipple and they sew it back on. That sounded a little painful.
Yeah, no kidding, man. No kidding. Oh, no. Wow. Yeah.
I know. But I said, well, if that'll make me look normal, that'd be fine. But that turns out is not covered by my insurance.
Well, we're gonna show. We're demonstrating the removal and reattaching of a nipple to potato here. So
you have to remove basically the entire breast, and then you just sew that together and then put a nipple as a bow on it.
I mean, this is what they do for women with cancer. I get that. I mean, sure, yeah.
Right. It's exactly the same surgery. So the gynecomastia was not covered, but this other surgery, I don't know what the technical name for it is covered. And I had problems with side skin anyway because I have so much on the side that if I toss in my sleep sometimes, I literally pinch myself awake.
Oh,
yeah.
And do you get chafing? Do you have, like in hot weather, do you get rashes and chafing just because there's that?
That is mostly your waistline. That's why that was the first to go. This I don't get chafing because, I don't know, I guess it moves around the shirt, wipes it or something. I don't know. Not really sure. But I haven't had a lot of problem with skin irritation.
Okay, well,
but it's just the lack of sleep some nights when I go, ow.
Well, yeah, because you're literally you're putting your elbow on yourself, right? It's like it's like giving yourself an Indian burn. Yeah.
You roll it and your skin rolls under you, so it's weird. It pinches you.
And by the way, I apologize for using the phrase Indian burn. A Native American First Nations burn is the proper name for it now. So, how else have you been? What is that?
I have to tell you, this is going to be a favorite part of the new surgery.
Oh, God, why?
So they take that skin off, and they kind of take it off in, what would that be, 2 vertical cuts, and they sew it in a vertical line.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So it pulls the skin from your chest apart, makes my chest flat. However, and here's your favorite thing, this is going to be your favorite thing now.
Yeah.
I'm going to have side nipples.
Wait. What? Wait, again. Side nipples.
Because think about it, if they're pulling all the skin to my side, they're flattening my chest.
Yeah.
But since they're not taking off the skin and sewing the nipples back on in the correct place, I'm taking off. On my left side, you'll be taking all the left skin off. So my left nipple will be pulled to my left, and my right nipple will be pulled to my right, and it's going to make the skin tight.
Yeah. But are your nipples going to stay there? Are you going to have nipples like by your armpits?
I'm going to have nipples closer to my armpits.
Okay. Oh, so it's not going to. Oh, wow.
So I'm going to have side nipples. So they're not on my side, but they'll be. You know where yours are?
Yes, I know where my nipples are. Yeah.
Okay. Everyone, check to make your nipples haven't moved. And so my nipples will now be halfway between where they should be and my armpits.
Okay. You know what? It's kind of a shame you're not a woman, because then you could maybe nurse hydrocephalic babies. Like 2 babies with really big heads.
Cynthia said you do it all the time.
But I couldn't nurse Siamese twins.
But wow, I just didn't realize that your nippies are going to be, okay, wow. But at least they don't have to take the nipples off and reattach them. They're just going to put them in a new neighborhood.
It actually sounds better for me, honestly.
Yeah, fabulous. That's okay.
But I figured, moving to Vegas, I'll be in the pool a lot. So if someone asks me, I'll just say my parents paid extra.
Oh, no.
I got the deluxe nipples.
Oh, God.
That's right. You got the Ben Turpin nipple. Sort of one is this way, the other is kind of pointing in another direction. But let me ask
how. Pointed. What's that?
Joyce wants to know, like after the first skin surgery, you asked, how was the pain of the recovery?
I had no pain. It turns out when you do not cut muscle, I think there's no pain. Honestly, I didn't even take a Tylenol after the surgery.
Whoa.
I came home. You have a big incision. You wear a binder, But you know, the harder,
yeah.
You just because you have to wear binders so you don't put any stress on the skin. You know, it keeps the skin from pulling apart.
Yeah. I'm binding Potato as we speak. There we go. There we go. He's good. Oh, and again, I never fully apologized. We were going to be seeing Jeff. Now, he wasn't. We weren't going to ask him to lift his shirt or anything, but just to see what Jeff looks like for the first time on this program. We were going to Zoom talk to him, and then it turned out, of course,
maybe in 2 weeks when I'm in Vegas, I can tell you about Vegas, and we can Zoom that.
Oh, that would be fantastic. Because what happened was, go figure. On this particular morning, the Zoom server that we've been using is down for repair for the day and probably the weekend. So literally, I'm going to Zoom, and it's like server not recognized. It's a blank page. I'm like, you gotta be freaking kidding me. So that's why. And when I tried to do a Zoom that wasn't from that server, it won't allow me to go live on Facebook. So I was between, shall we say, a rock and a nipple place on that. But hopefully we'll see you in 2 weeks. But Jeff, first of all, I don't want you to go. Will you stay with us, first of all, to do our Today-Yesterday quiz?
You'll be good.
Okay.
Yay! Yay! But before we get to that, I want to ask you, how have you been managing the past 3-4 months during the pandemic? What's it, you're single, you have a dog, I think? Or do you still have
What's barking in the background as we speak?
I know, yeah.
What kind is he?
What is it? Is it a shepherd or what is it?
No, I have a puggle.
Oh, he has a puggle.
Well, what I believe is a puggle.
Tell him next time he has to show us the dog.
I have a puggle too. It's 4.5 inches.
Vegas, he's not coming with me to Vegas this time.
Oh. Who's looking after him?
My friends will come to my house and feed him once a day. And he has a doggy door, as always, since he did survive a fire that way.
Right, and we were talking about that earlier, that your house burned down.
Lisa says hi.
Lisa who? Lisa
from your writing.
My Lisa. Yay, welcome, Lisa. So, but how have you been, so you've got the dog, you've got friends, but was it tough the past bunch of weeks?
It's been boring, it's been lonely, but, you do what you have to do. You survive.
Okay. I mean, do you watch a lot of TV, a lot of Netflix, a lot of, I don't know.
I watch a lot of, YouTube is my best friend.
Mm.
I've been watching a lot of theater, including high school theater.
Really? Yeah, okay. Any really good high school performances?
There are. You'd be really surprised.
Like an example of something a show that you actually watched.
Yeah, well, I watched some high school chose to do Bat Boy of all things.
Oh, what?
Bat Boy the musical, yeah.
It wasn't the best, but it was actually, it was great. I now, remember all the new, the jokes, because you don't never get the book on the album.
Right, yeah.
So that's why, I listen to a lot of, they choose such weird subjects. I love there's so many things. There's a lot of London theater, because they tape the
Royal National. Yeah.
Yeah, they like the one show that they never brought to Broadway, which I just love, is a show called Our House, which is based on the musical of the group Madness.
Oh, I know that's what was up. I wanted to see that. Yeah. Our House in the middle. Yeah.
It's really good. It's very much like If Then. It's a whole story about a choice. What happens if a choice was made the other way, and the two ways. And in the middle of one song, he splits into two people.
Wow. And his nipples went both ways when he did that. It was kind of interesting. Yeah.
That was a quadrinipple.
but no, I wanted to. Is the music from Madness? Did they do like House of Fun and Our House and all that?
Yeah. Welcome to the House of Fun is in the very beginning.
That's one of the greatest songs ever. Yeah.
Oh, there's so many good songs for Madness.
Oh, good. Oh, I should have seen that. I don't know which one, because the National does a different show. I think every 2 weeks they change it up. No?
Just go on YouTube and look up Our House the Musical, because someone posted it to YouTube.
That one's on you. Oh, I'm going to see it. I am so going to watch that. Thank you, man. Yeah.
It's really good. And then they also had the MTV
the girl with the dog in the law school.
Yes, Legally Blonde.
Legally Blonde, right. So that's one of my
favorite. Just it's like snacking on musicals because it's just so cute and funny, and it's not great, but it's fun.
Can I ask you, and Joyce is going to be mad at me for asking this, but have you seen, either in person or on Disney, Hamilton?
I have.
And?
It's good. It's just different than being in the theater.
Oh, no, I know. But when you saw it in the theater, was it amazing or a little overrated?
Oh, it's amazing. It's really amazing. But really, the whole thing with Hamilton is once you see it, and then you read about it, and you learn why the turntables are there and why the set is what it is. Because I've been doing a lot of, I learn about a lot of stuff now because I've been just overdoing it. Like,
we have nothing else to do. Why not? Yeah. So.
Yeah, but and have you seen Hamilton?
I've never seen it. No.
Okay. At some point, it's a double turntable, and the turntables run in different speeds, and they run backwards and forwards. So when it runs clockwise, it's because the world is spinning so fast. Things are moving so fast. And the speed at which this turntable moves is also the speed at which the action takes place. And and sometimes it just stops, but that's just because it's a moment in time.
Yeah.
But there is one or 2 points at which the turntable goes counterclockwise, and that's because you're either inside Eliza Hamilton's mind or they're thinking about the past. So it's just amazing what goes into these things. And the whole set is scaffolding based on the what would be 18th century building techniques. That's why it's all scaffolding. Then because it's the construction of a new country.
Yeah.
I mean, when you read about that, and I listen to that and a lot of other sets and costumes, you listen to the designers and oh my God. So when I've seen Hamilton like 3 or 4 times, and
okay, yeah,
online.
Oh, so you've gotten Disney and you've watched it that way. I didn't realize.
No, you can get Disney. I got Disney and I have it there.
Right. That's right. I'm wondering how you got to see it online. So, all right. So, it sounds like everybody else. You've been bored and looking for stuff to do, and it's been tough. But you've managed. You like everybody else. You're getting along, as it were.
I believe in always. I have a lot of different philosophies, but as you know, I'm a pretty happy person.
Yeah.
And I believe you have to choose to make your own good time. You can either sit and complain about stuff, or you search out and find your own good time.
So it can be Jewish, or you can move beyond that, essentially.
No. I always tell people I have not a big sign, but a little sign in my thing, and maybe if you Zoom with me, you'll see it in the background. I have a motto in my life, which is choose happy. It's because I think you can choose to complain, or you can choose happy. So I choose happy.
What if you're Rabbi Saul Solomon and you are happy when you choose to complain?
Oh, well, then you don't get Jeff Goodman as a listener.
Oh, there you go.
I'm not a big fan of the rabbi.
I know you're not a big fan. Thanks, Jeff. The rabbi thanks you for
Jeff
that.
The first one who got
but that's okay, because I think that, I'm not the only arbiter of good taste. But it's like there's a lid for every pot, right?
Well, hopefully, one assumes, yeah.
So look, you've done shows and you get audiences and they like it and they come back, and good for you. It's just not my taste. It's just the same thing.
No, it's fine. No, I get that. I'm making little comical allusions to Rabbi Saul never being happy, and that's what makes him happy. I know. Yeah.
Well, it's not. No, I like the idea that he's never happy. I do. But there's certain parts of the rabbi that I don't.
Well, his knees. I never really particularly liked his knees. They have an issue.
Well, I have a problem with the whole face thing, but that's...
Do you really? Yeah, do you really? Speak now, we're going to face up to the fact that we have to do a segment here on Dave's Gone By, and Jeff has kindly said that he will join us for this segment that we're doing on the program. We do it every week, and I know Jeff and Cynthia are watching and listening, so this is going to be fun, because you're going to get to play against Jeff and Cynthia and maybe my cousin Mark and everybody else who's watching. It's a trivia quiz that we call Today, Yesterday. And what it is it's just questions about things that happened in history on July 18th, since today is July 18th, 2020. So what I will ask you, Jeff, is that when I ask the question, if you know the answer to the question, don't say it immediately, because there's a lag between when people at home are watching. We want to give people at home a chance to see if they can answer it for themselves.
Okay, that's fine, because and it doesn't matter, because I know nothing anyway. So
no, you know, these are a lot of these are trivia questions. You'll get some of these. But what I'll just ask is, I'll ask you when it's time for the answer.
You will tell me when it's time to answer. Do I have to answer in the form of a question?
You know what? You don't. But I find myself doing that no matter what I'm watching. I'm always what is and where is Alex? Yeah. Trebek. And by the way, Alex Trebek is apparently doing okay. So that's one of the nice things we heard this week. Well, he's dying, but he's dying more slowly.
He's not dying. He has a cancer, and hopefully he's in remission.
Well, he's got the kind of cancer that doesn't necessarily remit, but apparently he's in better shape now than he was. So that's quite wonderful. Anyway, I am no Alex Trebek, but it is time for our weekly segment, Today, Yesterday. Are you ready to play, Jeff?
I am.
And Cynthia and her husband, Jeff, there's another Jeff, and Lisa is playing. So folks, if you're playing at home, you can also try and beat Jeff Goodman with your answer by typing in the answer in the comments and seeing if you're correct. Oh, so are we all ready? Is everybody ready?
Okay, I have both of the Facebook sides.
Does this game have a winner?
No, there's no prizes.
Cynthia
well then it's not worth playing.
Some have a good time complaining.
Yeah. So here we go.
Okay.
The year is 1925.
Okay.
4.5 years of struggle against lies, stupidity, and cowardice was the original title of this book, as translated into English. The book was published on this date under a much shorter title. Can you name the author and its shorter name? So, Jeff, if you know it, don't say it. I'll repeat the question. July 18th, 1925. 4.5 years of struggle against lies, stupidity, and cowardice was the English title for this book, which was published today under a much shorter title. Can you name
I think Cynthia's typing.
the author and that title? So Cynthia and Jeff are typing. We're going to give them first dibs. And Jeff, don't tell me the answer but do you think you know the answer?
No, I have a guess.
Okay, you have a guess. Great. Hold the guess. Hold the guess as we wait for our... Because you're not on a delay. You're kind of immediate. So I want to give people who are delayed.
I'm holding my tongue.
Yeah. Oh, that's you probably have to let your tongue go in order to talk, because otherwise it's going to be really...
I did give you a head, make it
So, Cynthia, type quick, because we're going to start giving a countdown for our question.
I said send Jeff answer.
And let's see. Oh, I've got to maybe lower it down.
Oh, wait,
okay, they have an answer. Don't say it. Don't say it.
I got it.
Jeff, you can't see their answer. What is your guess?
I'm thinking maybe Dostoevsky's War and Peace.
And
good try.
From Cynthia and Jeff say Mein Kampf from Adolf Hitler.
Cynthia and Jeff are saying no, it's Mein Kampf from Adolf Hitler. And the answer is... Well done, Cynthia and Jeff. Mein Kampf means Mein Struggle. And Hitler's going to have this big, long title, and they told him, no, you'll never sell any books that way. So he shortened it just to Mein Kampf. So 1-0 for Cynthia and Jeff, 0-1 for my Jeff Goodman. But lots more questions to go. Are you ready for questions?
Did anyone online get it? Did anyone listening get it?
I don't know if any other listeners have it, but
Cynthia
I know.
Cynthia and Jeff got it.
Yeah, Cynthia and Jeff
nobody in
are rocking it.
In the chat, in the watch party.
Not everybody types in answers or participates that way. Folks at home, they're just listening to the questions and seeing if they get them right.
Oh, well, now I have both on. This is like, okay, I'm going to say.
Okay. Oh.
Okay, give me a second.
Okay, Joyce has to do something on her computer.
Well, if someone types in from who's listening at home, if they get all of the next ones right, I will send them a prize.
Oh, that's so sweet, Jeff. Well, there's 8 questions in all. We've got 7 more.
Okay, anyone who gets 6 or more, I will send them a prize.
So I just wrote, David, I thumbed up their answer correct, and I said,
Thumbs up for correct answer, not for the man named.
Yes, we're not giving Adolf Hitler a thumbs up.
Okay.
No. All right, next.
Wait, I gotta go. Hold on.
Oh, hold on.
I made a mistake.
Got some technical stuff here to work out. While I remind everybody that Hewlett Minuteman Press are the copy kings of Broadway. Since the mid-1970s, the Torong family has owned and operated Minuteman, the franchise in the heart of Hewlett. And if you tell them Dave sent you, you get 10% off any job, big or small. Hewlett Minuteman Press, they are the copy kings. Are you ready for the next question, Jeff?
He said laughing out loud.
Yes.
We're ready.
Here we go. The year 1929. He put a spell on us. Born today in Cleveland is this flamboyant singer who would make comic use of voodoo props and even start his concerts by bursting out of a coffin. Who is this performer who had a featured role in the Jim Jarmusch film Mystery Train?
I put a spell on you
There you go.
because you're mine.
You should be playing that song.
I can't play music. If I play music, Facebook throws me off and YouTube won't do copyright. I can't play music anymore. All I can do is original content. Not that I mind.
You sing it, honey.
So I put a spell on you. Born today in Cleveland is this flamboyant singer who used voodoo props and he would actually start his concerts by jumping out of a coffin. Who is he who was featured in the Jim Jarmusch film Mystery Train? So I'm waiting for an answer from...
Is it Ricky Martin?
It's not Ricky Martin.
Justin Bieber?
It's not Stephen Sondheim. It's not Justin
Bieber?
Bieber. No. It's not Kate Smith, although I would love to see that.
Harvey Firestein?
It's not Harvey Firestein. Do we have or
I
something?
put a spell on you.
Because you're mine.
We got a delay. You gotta wait, babe.
Okay, let's see if we're getting... Now, Jeff, do you have...
That's the wrong. What?
Do you have a guess on this? Wait to hold it, but do you have a guess?
I have no idea who sang that song.
Oh, wow, okay. It was covered... Well, it's been covered by a bunch of people, including Nina Simone, but I'm going to give it a couple more seconds for Cynthia and Jeff to maybe come up with something.
I just said
Well, they're looking on their computer, so that's not bad.
I'll give you a hint. Ah!
It's Screaming Larry.
Well, it's not Screaming Larry.
Did you rupture your hernia again?
Joyce is asking if you ruptured your hernia again.
Oh, Jay Hawkins.
There we go.
Jay
Took a
Hawkins.
while. Screaming Jay Hawkins is the answer. Took you a while. I was almost, I don't know, Cynthia and Jeff. That's like, I'll give you a half credit on that.
No, tell Jeff they usually win. They're like that Jeopardy Ken,
They usually get like 60 or 70, sometimes 80% right. They're pretty good. But, okay.
Do they have the computer on? Is that the deal?
What about their computer?
Well, you could just look it up.
Well, yeah, but
we're going on
it's the honor system. It's true. And it's better to be honor than offer, if you know what I'm saying. And I think you don't. But ow, Joyce is smacking me. But, we say don't Google, don't play fair.
Unless you get a good offer.
1938 is the year of our next question. Remember, all these things happened on July 18th. 1938, this pilot got the nickname Wrong Way when he landed in Dublin, Ireland today on a flight that he was supposed to be taking to Long Beach, California. Now, it's still unclear whether this Wrong Way location switch was intentional, but he will forever be known for his Wrong Way nickname. What was his last name?
Oh, Cynthia says Jeff is the smarter one.
Well, Jeff is very smart. I think she's also meaning her husband, Jeff. But here we go. So I'll read it again. This pilot got the nickname Wrong Way when, on this date in 1938, he landed in Dublin, Ireland, instead of the intended target, Long Beach, California, which, if you think about it, is literally all the way in the wrong direction. Jeff, do you want to take a guess on this one?
Wrong Way Wooten.
What was that? Wrong Way who?
Wooten.
Wooten.
Oh,
No.
have an answer here.
We have an answer.
It's just they have one word. It's like Corrigan.
Wrong Way Corrigan is the correct answer. It was Douglas Corrigan, whose autobiography, That's My Story, was turned into the movie The Flying Irishman.
It was my story that my.
What?
Story that my.
The Story That My.
He went backward.
Oh, that's brilliant. Wow, I like that.
You didn't get it, though.
And Corrigan made money off his reputation, including when he was later in life, he endorsed a watch that ran backwards, which is kind of cool.
Didn't he make our GPS?
That's true. Well, he made our
I don't
lives, I
understand
think.
how he couldn't figure out he was flying over water instead of land.
Well, I mean, look at JFK Jr., right? I mean, at night...
You have to be a sight flyer, not an instrument.
When you're up in the air over clouds, all you see is clouds, I guess.
You're supposed to be a sight flyer, not instrument
It had to take him a little time.
But the thing was, he had wanted to fly to Dublin for some reason, and he was denied permission. So people still say that there was some intentionality behind. He wasn't really going the wrong way. He was going the exact way he really wanted to go.
He's like, he's
So,
passive-aggressive.
He's like me. He's passive aggressive. That's nice. Thank. Or they say he missed the off ramp. Okay, we got another question.
You should know if you're going east or west.
What about east and west?
I said there are things called compasses in planes, and they should know if they go
They
east
should know.
or west.
That's why people think it was too. But then again, you've had football players on the field run in the wrong direction and score for the opposite team.
Well, that's because they get turned around and
You get confused.
Yeah.
I mean, JFK Jr. didn't know he was flying upside down. I mean, I don't know. Anywho, our next question in our Today Yesterday quiz goes to 1966. Jeff, you're going to love this one.
Cynthia said he missed the
Okay.
31 and a half. I read it on the air. 31 and a half year old scientist Carl Sagan didn't have a birthday today, but he did hit a milestone. How old was he in seconds? Okay, don't say it.
What? Wait.
It's a great question. I know the minute I give the answer, you're going to love it.
Uh-oh.
But here's the deal.
Say it again. Go slow.
July 18th, 1966, Carl Sagan was 31 and a half years old. Wasn't his birthday, but it was a milestone. How old was he in seconds? Okay, think about it. Think what would be the best answer ever for this. That's kind of the clue. Jeff, do you want to take a guess?
We got one here, if you want it.
Maybe $1 billion?
Oh!
Wait, we got it. 4.1 billion.
No, 1 billion. It's the fourth question. 1 billion.
Yeah.
1 billion is the answer because Carl Sagan, of course, was a billion stars. That was always his phrase. Well done, Jeff. Did you know that, or did you just pull it out? How did you get that one?
I knew he had something. It had to do with a lot of stars, but I thought he said $1 billion. I wasn't quite.
Yeah, they used to joke about the way he said it. Yeah, what?
So apologize to Lisa. Apparently our chat is delayed. She got Screaming Jay Hawkins right, but it was
Lisa.
Later. Yeah, so tell Lisa we're delayed. Sorry. And Fred joined in because he's
Fred from Friendly?
Friendly's a very competitive late start, but right answer getter in the quiz.
Okay. So we got all our usual, except for like cousin Mark, we've got all our usual people playing. It's a horse race now.
Broadway stuff.
This is exciting. Here we go. Let's get to our next question. We go all the way to 1994.
Oh.
Crayola announces its latest innovation in crayons. This is a multiple choice. Was it scented crayons?
Ew. Smensels.
The 96 color box instead of just 64.
I know what it was.
Organic crayons made of beeswax instead of paraffin.
No.
Or Crayola washable markers. So that I'll read them again. 1994. Latest innovation in crayons from Crayola. Was it crayons that smell? 96 in a box instead of 64. Organic crayons made of beeswax. Or Crayola washable markers.
I wish we didn't have a choice. I actually got one of your choices is my guess.
Good. Don't say it yet. Don't say it. I want to give a little ordinary. If it was just sort of you as a contestant, I'd say, okay, what's the answer? But I want to give. We have an answer from Cynthia and Jeff.
Wait.
We're going to wait for Lisa and perhaps Friendy.
I got too many things, too many windows of people saying stuff to me at the same time.
And by the way, just because people are guessing doesn't necessarily mean they are correct.
But the way, this is scintillating. The waiting is scintillating.
I know.
Play your
That's a
play your
vamp.
song for Jeff.
What song goes with crayons?
You just play some music, like weight room music.
Color me blue. Yeah, da, 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 da. You know.
The colors of my life.
Yeah, there you go.
That's a good one.
From Born.
Okay, so now no one else, David. I think the watch party is just so delayed that they're going to have to get later.
Yeah, I know, Jeff. I have to vamp so much between question and question just to give people a chance. But Cynthia and Jeff have an answer. What's your answer?
Mine?
Yeah.
That would be the washable markers.
The answer is scented. It was a scented crayons. 96 colors actually happened in 1992.
When did they introduce the flesh color? Remember there was a big crayon that was like flesh, and then people debated what it was?
It was actually made of human flesh. It was a horrible idea.
Oh, I think that's a Jeff story.
And by the way, Jeff, you're not fully right. Washable markers came out in 1987. So most of these things were real, except the beeswax one. But in 1994, it was the scented crayon. So yay to Cynthia and Jeff for getting that one correct. They're doing pretty well.
They're 100%, I think.
I hope you don't have to send them a gift. This is, here we go. We got 3 more questions in our Today, Yesterday
I
quiz.
think they're using Google, so.
No, they don't. They play fair.
I think one of them has like a medical code, so they can't lie.
That's right. There's an ethics thing. We make people take an oath when they play. There's a blood oath. And then they have to scroll, I love you, Amber Heard, on the wall in their blood to prove that they're playing. That's a joke from earlier in the show. You're not expected to get that. All right, Jeff, are you ready for our next question in the quiz?
Okay.
Sure, I'm ready to get another one wrong.
1994 is the year. Released today by Seal on his second album. This romantic song would later appear on the Batman Forever soundtrack, making it, don't say it, Grammy record winner, record of the year, and song of the year. Name this, and here comes my sibilant S, signature Seal song.
Was it Shake Your Ass?
And Joyce is guessing Shake Your Ass.
It's an in-joke.
And by the way, Cynthia and Jeff are telling you, Jeff, that they don't get everything right. Yeah.
That's true.
So I'll read the question again. 1994, the signature song by Seal was released today on his second album, a romantic number that made it to the Batman Forever soundtrack.
I know what it is.
You got it. Joyce has it. And I hope I don't catch it from her because I want to stay healthy. Thank you very much. So I'm waiting for Cynthia and Jeff and anybody else, or Lisa and Friendly.
A clue in the chat.
Let's see. I can't play it, or else I'll give it away. But it was very, very popular. Even if you don't know or like Seal, you know this song. So, Jeff, do you have? Don't say it, but do you have a guess?
I have no idea. He didn't do it on Broadway. I don't know the music.
Okay.
How sad is my life?
No sadder than mine. Believe me.
I know it. Cynthia don't got it.
Cynthia doesn't have it. Jeff doesn't have it.
Say it. It's a kiss on a rose, right?
A kiss. That is accepted. A kiss from a rose.
A kiss from a rose.
So,
I don't know about prepositions, baby.
Oh my God! I never even heard of that song.
Oh yes, you have.
Kiss on the rose, on the gray.
Louder. Right down on my passion, my pain.
No.
It's very catchy. I've got to say.
I never liked Seal anyway. So
I prefer walruses.
He's no Terrence Trent D'Arby.
Yeah, and let's face it. What does a manatee love best? A tight seal. Thank you very much. I don't know what that means.
Disgusting.
No idea. No idea what that means.
Disgusting.
All right, so you do not have to send a gift to Cynthia and Jeff, but we do have 2 more questions in our Today, Yesterday quiz. Here we go. The year 1995. Published today by New York Times imprint Times Books, is a biography titled Dreams from My Father. It was written by an Illinois senator who was also a former Harvard Law Review president.
That's going to need more discussion.
Name the author. Okay. So the year 1995, an autobiography published by the New York Times imprint The title of the book, Dreams from My Father, written by an Illinois senator who also happened to be a former Harvard Law Review president. Can you name the author of this book?
Say it again. They didn't hear of it. You need maybe Fred would know.
Yeah, Fred might get this one. I can also give a hint if we go like another minute. Oh, we have an answer actually. Jeff, do you want to take an answer on this?
Wasn't the Illinois Paul Simon or something like that? Simon was the last name, I think.
Simon that's a good guess, and it wasn't Garfunkel either. No. What if I told you, Jeff, that it was the first former Harvard Law Review president who was the first black Harvard Law Review president? Does that help?
That helps me a lot.
Okay, who is it?
I don't know.
Well, I missed.
He also was a president of the United States.
Well, yeah.
Oh, he was?
Yes, he was.
The only African
Well,
American.
then I think I know who that was.
I hope, with that clue, so who is it?
That would be an Obama.
Yes, it would be. And was it Malika? Or was it Michelle? Or Barack?
Born.
Oh, my God. Was Malika president? Oh, I don't know. I think it was the dog.
That's not them.
Fluffy.
No, but you're right, and Cynthia and Jeff got this one really quickly. It was, in fact, Barack Obama who wrote Dreams from My Father, all about his years in Kenya, perhaps, written by, and Obama was a senator from Illinois and former Harvard Law Review president. Well done. Well done. All right, we got one more question. This is a toughie. We go to 2013 for this next question. This American city was $18.5 billion, speaking of billions and billions, $18.5 billion in debt, leading the entire city to file for bankruptcy on this date.
Oh, Fred said it was Michelle Obama.
Oh, there you go, Fred.
No, Mr. Michelle Obama.
Mr. Michelle, that works. So, which American city filed for bankruptcy on July 18, 2013? Was it? Is there multiple choice?
No, don't give multiple choice yet. I have a guess.
Oh, you have a guess. So hold your guess. Hold your guess. And anybody else is welcome to guess first and beat Jeff on this one. Do.
Say it again, honey.
And then if I'm wrong, just include my guess in the wrong answers.
Well, we have already, Cynthia and Jeff have their own guess. What would your guess be? Say it out loud.
Mine would be Detroit.
Yours would be Detroit. Cynthia and Jeff have guessed Detroit.
Whoa.
And the answer is...
Indianapolis.
Call the doctor. It's Dr. Detroit, ladies and gentlemen. Well, I didn't even have to give the multiple choice. Well done, guys. Well, Detroit, Michigan filed for bankruptcy back on this date in 2013. Did you just remember that one, Jeff, or do you just think of Detroit when you think of bankruptcy?
I remember Detroit filed for bankruptcy. It was a big thing.
Yes, that was Michigan, Michigas, ladies and gentlemen. Well, how'd you do, Jeff?
Oh, wait.
I got two correct.
Lisa said Riverside. Her husband Rich said Riverside.
California. Maybe they did bankruptcy too, but I don't know if they did it in 2013, But nice job, Jeff, and nice job, Cynthia, and her, Jeff, who I think got something like more than half right out of the 8 questions that we did. Certainly they got Obama and Detroit. You don't win a prize, but you win.
They got Obama, Detroit, Mein Kampf. They got the Seal song.
No,
they didn't get the Seal song. They never. And there was another one that they didn't.
I think they only missed 7 for 8. Cynthia said.
Yeah, they got Jay Hawkins. That was cool.
Oh, they also got the Billions.
Billions. They got. Yeah, I was very impressed that they got that one, and they got One Way Corrigan. But they did miss. Unfortunately, they went 7 for 8, which is very good. Really good.
No, they missed 2.
I'm sorry?
They missed 2. They got 5. They got 6 for 8.
Well,
they got 7 of 8, Jeff.
Yeah, which did they miss?
The
Seal song, and they got all the others.
Yeah, they just missed Seal.
Yeah, literally, they got every. Oh, wait a minute. So you may owe them. That's right. You said they got 6 of the next questions right.
Missed crayons.
Right.
And missed crayons in the song. So
Do you want to say what the gift is? What the present is?
Sure, you get. I'm going for my first haircut in a while, so they get all the hair that falls on the floor.
Ah.
That's not. No, come on, man.
Jeff, I thought he was going to make them a balloon thing.
Why? It's very famous.
Could he make a balloon thing?
Do you have any of your balloon stuff left, or did you sell all of that? Get rid, or did it all burn up?
I have some balloon stuff left. They want a balloon?
Lisa says you win the glory. That
The
send
glory.
Jeff win the glory.
Well, Jeff, it's not nice to sort of be a Native American First Nations giver. Why not, instead of an envelope full of hair, can you just put like a balloon in a 50-cent envelope? You know, just something that's not going to cost you a lot of money or time or effort, but fulfilling your promise that you would send a gift to whomever.
He could send a GIF, a GIF.
Yeah. Yeah, it could be an online gift. Send them.
No, I send physical gifts. If they want something balloon related, I will throw a balloon in an envelope.
Or maybe we can offer like a URL to one or two of the best shows that you were watching.
Lisa said she'd rather have the glory than probably that gift.
Yeah, I get that. I get that. Well, Cynthia and Jeff, why don't you type in? Would you like maybe the URL that Jeff was watching for the high school show that was really, really good? Or what was that other show you mentioned, the Royal National Show?
Something in Arizona to scare off the coyotes.
Our house. Well, you have to Google. I don't know the.
I mean, it's easy
URL.
enough to find. I mean, yeah.
But what is she using in Arizona to scare?
How do you scare off coyotes, Jeff? Is there a way to scare off coyotes in Arizona?
Sure.
What is it?
Fire.
Oh! Send them a match.
Oh, she said balloon is cool. She's up for the balloon.
Oh, balloon is cool. So, Jeff, would you mind terribly? Just putting a balloon
Send
in
it
an
to you
envelope.
and you'll send it to Sin.
Yeah, you can mail it to me, and I'll forward it on to Cynthia and Jeff.
But don't blow in it.
Wait, now Cynthia and Jeff said no, they want the human hair. Oh, wait, what? They're saying human hair scares off coyotes.
Oh, really?
If only. Won't scare off the Wolfman.
People? We have
Yeah.
hair all over our bodies.
That's true.
Well, hair from my head is very rare.
Jeff is even bolder than I am, quite honestly. I didn't think that was possible. So if you do get follicles in the mail from Jeff, they're kind of precious. You're going to need a tweezer to line them up.
Oh, no, there's a lot of hair back there.
Oh, because the back of the head, right? Yeah.
Well, guess what? I get a haircut on the entire head.
Well, yes, as opposed to... Of course it's going to be the entire head. What, are they going to just do the left side? What do you mean the entire head?
Well, they just do my ears. It's the hair from my ears.
Oh, well, I use a nose trimmer for that.
Well.
No, Joyce does that. She'll get annoyed because she'll see there's a hair growing out of my ear.
No, I use the razor.
See, here's the problem. The nose is in the center of the face. The ears are on the side of the face.
Yes,
It's
I know
like-
this.
It's like my nipples were in the center of my chest, and my nipples are going to the side of my chest.
Yes. Yeah, but I'm saying, Joyce, well, you don't use a razor. You use my nose trimmer.
No, I use your brawn.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, ooh, wow. Well, this has been an exciting conversation, ladies and gentlemen. Anyway, so if Cynthia and Jeff really do want the balloon, or if you're welcome to not get that. But Jeff, you did make a promise. So
Of course.
if you
I'll
send me
them
a balloon, I will forward it to
with or without the hair.
Jeff and Cynthia. Oh, Cynthia's not kidding. She says that the smell of human hair will deter most small mammals like deer, rabbits, raccoons, and coyotes because they fear humans and domestic dogs.
David,
Urine works too.
I could send them some of that too.
Jeff, you can't sell it on eBay or Amazon, but you could, I guess, legally send pee in a little container. Would Cynthia and Jeff, would you like some of Jeff's urine? No, maybe so.
I just sent a picture
Of Elmo on a toilet.
Yes.
I love it.
Yes.
I love it. There you go.
What'd they say?
No. Joyce just posted a GIF of Elmo on the toilet. As Cynthia and Jeff. So you have a choice, Cynthia and Jeff. Do you want the balloon? Do you want Jeff's hair, or would you like pee from Jeff?
Or a balloon filled with hair.
But would you like it? Well, it won't be able. Won't it pop the balloon then? if the balloon was filled with hair? I'm not sure.
Well, yeah. Well, I would not send it inflated. They'd have to blow into the balloon.
Yeah.
Fill it with hair. They blow into the balloon, and then they can pop it and scare the coyotes.
You know, that's a great idea. That would work. The noise and the hair in the balloon would combine to be a really effective coyote repellent. Okay, they want the balloon. Go figure. I thought they'd be, pushing the envelope a little. Joyce just sent another GIF of, I guess it's a Pikachu thing-ish, on the toilet, having some issues doing what they're doing, and while holding a cell phone. It's kind of an interesting thing. Anyway,
you have to send me your address so I can mail it to your new home address.
Yeah, it's our old home address, believe it or not. It's just where I was living since I was 12. But, Jeff, I want to finish up the show, so let me thank you so much for being such a fun a guest and a participant in the quiz, but also just such a great fella. And so glad that you're healthy. Have you been tested for COVID?
Oh, Cynthia said maybe I'll get a
No,
gun.
I will be tested for COVID before my skin surgery.
Oh, that's right. That's right. But you've been feeling fine, right?
I'm doing great.
Thank God. Thank God.
Just so you know, the guy who used to walk with the cane, I now walk 2.5 miles. I walk the dog 2.5 miles a day.
Now, you sometimes carry a cane in the city just to keep people away from you, which is kind of great.
The one thing the cane taught me, I'm going to use the cane on my flight because you get better seating in the plane with a cane. You get all sorts of. If people see you walking with a cane, a lot of good things happen to you.
Wow. Well, okay. So, may more good things happen to you, cane or no cane. May the surgery go. I have to talk to you on the show in like 2 weeks anyway. Well,
I will carry a cane if I'm able.
Oh.
I know, but that's a you joke, not a me joke.
I don't know what the genesis of that joke was. The things that you're liable to read in the Bible, ladies and gentlemen.
Clapping.
Joyce is giving you the slow clap, which is better than the gonorrhea I got from her years ago. But ow, ow, she's flicking a nail file at me. Ow, hurty on the arm. Anyway, thanks everybody for playing the game. Thank you, Jeff, for being such a fabulous guest in the Daverhood. Stay healthy. Good luck on the surgery, although we hope to talk to you before then.
Well, you told me hopefully in 2 weeks.
God willing. Yeah.
But I will have to wake up early because it's 3 hours earlier in Vegas.
Oh, so you will physically be in Vegas 2 weeks from now. Wow.
Correct.
Okay. Well, safe, healthy, good flight. Enjoy Nevada. Stay healthy in Nevada. And
let's hope United. Here's, by the way, I have a teeny tiny story. Can I tell a teeny tiny story?
Go for it, real quick. Yeah.
When I booked my flight, I booked United because they were socially distancing on the plane. And a week after I booked my flight, they go, "Oh, we're not socially distancing anymore." And I said, "What?" So I called them, and I changed my flight to the most unpopular flight because I figured, well, hopefully. Because right now I have a seat right in the middle of 5 empty aisles and 5 empty rows of people. I want to be as far away from people as I can. And so I changed the flight. I'm flying out of Newark, New Jersey at 8 in the morning, which means I have to take 2 trains to get to Newark. But considering I'm taking the trains at 4 and 5 in the morning, it shouldn't be a problem.
Well, make sure that trains are running, because is the LIRR on regular schedule at this point, or are they still on emergency?
Yeah, it is.
Oh, it is. Okay.
We're in phase 5 on Long Island.
Is there a phase 5?
I think so. Well, we're either in 4 or 5, whatever
I think we go into 4, and even 4 isn't a real 4.
We're in 4. New York City's going into a partial 4.
Yeah, right, exactly, yeah. It's like a 3.76 phase in New York. Well, but either way, Jeff, I hope you are socially distanced on the plane. I hope you are well and healthy, and I thank you. Thank you.
And in 2 weeks, I could tell you, I can tell everyone, because I know you have to go.
Yeah.
I will give you my tips on traveling, because I've researched it to death, so I could tell you exactly what the CDC and the the bigwigs say about traveling, how to travel safely.
And then the real thing of what it really meant when you did it. That's the thing. Yeah. The what they're saying versus the reality. Whatever you do, just don't take a cruise.
What?
Well, I said whatever you do, just don't take a cruise at this point.
That's what they say, because if you looked at the news, Senator Cruz from Texas, Ted, he was on American Airlines, and he did not have a mask on while flying, nor did he have a mask on in the terminal, which is not correct.
That's a Republican for you. That's what they'll do. What can I tell you? Well, again, 2 weeks from now, safe in Vegas, we will be talking again to the marvelous Jeff Goodman. Thank you so much for calling in on this episode of Dave's Gone By. See you soon, man.
Okay, stay safe, wear a mask, and wash your hands.
I wash everything. In fact, I use my hands to wash everything else. I should probably wash my hands before I do that. It's a thought. Anywho, talk to you soon, Jeff.
Okay, I'll be here.
Bye-bye, man.
Bye.
Jeff Goodman, ladies and gentlemen, on the 755th episode of the Dave's Gone By Facebookio, Podcastio, Programmio of the Stream. Oh, yeah. Phone there. It's 7 minutes after 12 already. God, look at the frizzy hair I've got here. 7 minutes after 12. We still have a few more things to do on Dave's Gone By. I think we'll table potato news until next week, because we're already...
You ran so over, Bubba.
We're 3 hours in, but come on, we still have to do the Colorado Limerick of the Damned, and our friends of the Daverhood, and I apologize for this beforehand, as I do every week, but we do a play on words that is so terrible, and this one is bad. I will warn you that right beforehand. It's not that it's dirty. I mean, it's slightly dirty. It's not really dirty at all. It's just a really bad pun. Some of these are so bad they're good. This one is not. And yet we're going to do it anyway. It's our weekly Wretched Pun of Destiny. It's a short story, tiny little short story, that is capped by an unbelievably groanable play on words. So this is the time, ladies. If you need to go and run and get skin surgery, right now would be the time to do that. The Wretched Pun.
The Dave's goes by, Wretched Pun of Destiny.
This Wretched Pun is about a hotel. A Jamaican tourist calls to book a suite at a fancy hotel in France, and he tells the manager he wants the best, a quiet floor, fully stocked minibar, and, most important, amazing scenery out the window. Oui, says the manager. 2 weeks later, he checks in, enters the room, and sees that the window looks out on an alley. Miffed, he goes to the fridge, but the minibar has just a couple of domestic beers in it. He does find a big bottle of rum by the bed, but even that is disconcerting because the label has an image of a hand with its middle finger sticking up. Enraged, the tourist calls the front desk and hollers, "What is the meaning of this? There's nothing to see. The minibar is a joke, and the one good drink has an obscene label." "Ah, sir," replies the manager, "it is as you requested. When you called, you specifically asked for a rum with FU."
Oh, that's a sad one.
I warned you.
We here at Dave's Gone By apologize for bringing you the Wretched Pun of Destiny.
You hit a new low when your wife says, not once but twice, that's a sad one. That's just, and I know, I warned you, I told you it was bad. Next week's is better. Next week is funnier. I promise you that. But that was our Wretched Pun of Destiny here on Dave's Gone By Live on this Saturday, July 18th, 2020, with me, Dave Lefkowitz, my darling and adorable wife, Joyce. potato, of course, and chicken. We still have, and I pre-apologize for this as well, our Colorado Limerick of the Damned to do. But I also want to very quickly run through a segment that we also do every week called the Friends of the Daverhood. This has to do with folks who have been on this program. I mean, Jeff Goodman, one of our longest time friends of the Daverhood ever. He was first on in early 2003 and many times since then. So we've had guests going all the way back almost 18 years, and then guests that we've had on just recently, like Vicky Quaddy from Late Night Catechism was on the show, and Louis J. Stadlin, the Broadway actor. Well, we like to check in on folks who've been on the show and just see what they've been up to since they've been on Dave's Gone By. They are the Friends of the Daverhood. Just a couple of these. For example, I want to let you know that today, or maybe tonight, Michelle LaRue, the actress and writer, she is doing her solo show, The Apple Tree, and it is free. You can watch it at metropolitanplayhouse.org. metropolitanplayhouse.org. Michelle LaRue does a lot of solo shows, things like The Yellow Wallpaper, and kind of somewhat feminist one-woman shows, or one-person shows, I guess is the correct terminology now. So see her in The Apple Tree today at metropolitanplayhouse.org. And as long as you're watching stuff on your computer screen, why not see Jorma Kaukonen and Jack Cassidy with Acoustic Hot Tuna? And this is going to be free. It's live on the YouTube channel for Fur Peace Ranch. We've been telling you week after week that Jorma Kaukonen, who was in, of course, Jefferson Airplane with Jack Cassidy, has been doing these weekly acoustic solo concerts just for fun, just because he's on his ranch and he can, and they've been streamable, watchable on YouTube. Now he's being joined by Jack Cassidy and Hot Tuna. It's all at YouTube, the Fur Peace Ranch channel on YouTube. Letting you know that you have 2 more days, today and tomorrow, to watch on Skype Edward Einhorn's play Performance for One, and that is at untitledtheater.com. Unless I'm greatly mistaken, this is an interactive piece. So you sign up for a certain time, and then you are interacting live with the performer. It's a short play. It lasts about 10 minutes. So you might want to check that out. Edward Einhorn's Performance for One, today and tomorrow. On July 14th, which I guess is Tuesday, Ann Hampton Calloway, Alice Ripley, Adam Pascal, Beth Malone, and Ann Harada, all 5 of those Broadway people have been on this program. They are part of Night of 1,000 Judies, which is a benefit for the Ali Forney Center, which helps LGBTQ homeless youth. You can watch this at 1000judies.com, and it's Judyys, 1000judies.com. Check it out. I don't know if we've ever had so many people at one time. Ann Hampton Calloway, Alice Ripley, Adam Pascal, Beth Malone, and Ann Harada. It's like an old home week for Dave's Gone By. Pretty cool. Reminding you that Eric Comstock and Barbara Fasano, they post a lot of stuff on their YouTube page. They're singers, cabaret singers, and they've just been doing all their songs up there. Evan Seplow is the founder and editor of StageBuddy.com, which is putting up stories about life in New York during COVID. Dr. Demento doing Dr. Demento shows at drdemento.com. Plus, the most important thing, well, no, it's all important, but you can go and access his archive of Demento shows going all the way back to 1974, before he was even syndicated. There's a small fee. I think it's like $2 or $3 a show. But you get to listen to it for a week or something like that. And it's freaking Dr. Demento. So do check it out. And then Stuart Brown has his website, soundsofbroadway.com. You don't need Spotify. You don't need Sirius XM. Sirius. You can just put on the Sounds of Broadway internet channel and listen to show tunes 24/7. Soundsofbroadway.com. And finally, Bob Cudmore, doing podcasts about upstate New York history at bobcudmore.com. Those, my friends, are the Friends of the Daverhood. Thank you, Wolfgang. Dave Lefkowitz here doing the Dave's Gone By program. We've done so much, and I do apologize that we ran out of time to do our potato news. We're going to hold that in abeyance for...
Potatoes can wait. Potatoes have no sense. Potato time is different than our time.
Joyce is right. Potato time is different from our time. And besides potato, we did potato news last week, remember? No. I have Spudheimers. You don't have Spudheimers, potato. You're just drinking too much of your own vodka. Yes, this is really true. You need to get, you need to drink a bunch of ketchup, fill up your stomach, and you'll be better. You know, bit of hair of the spud that bit you, if you will.
They're happy. As long as you do it, they're happy.
Yay! I'm happy again. Good for you. Be like Jeff Goodman. Think.
I don't want my nipples to move.
I don't blame you, potato, but sometimes.
That made me vomit in my mouth.
Hey, remember when one of you guys lost your eyes?
And it made him vomit in his mouth.
Yeah. But remember when Potato lost one of his eyes and Mommy was kind enough to sew your eye back on? I remember. See, so that was it wasn't.
I'm in therapy for that, Daddy.
I know, Potato. But anyway, it's just something more to look forward to next week on Dave's Gone By, when we will have Potato News and Greeley Crimes and Old Times and Inside Broadway and our Today Yesterday quiz. And haven't mentioned this, we have a special guest next week, singer-songwriter who is at the point in his career where there's a new album out. He has a new album out, but there's also an album out of other well-known artists covering his songs. So you have to be in the business for a while and have a good catalog of material for that to happen. I'm talking about Willie Nile. Willie Nile will be in the Daverhood, knock wood, God willing, and the Zoom working. We'll have Willie Nile on Dave's Gone By next Saturday, July 25th, at our usual time. But are we done? Is it time to put away the chicken, to fold up the potato cloth, to put away the potato and our xylophone and my beloved egg cream? No. You know why? Because there's one more thing we have to get to, ladies and gentlemen, and we do this every week. It is our Colorado Limerick of the Damned. Joyce and I lived in Colorado for a bunch of years, which got me to thinking about creating poems, short poems, limericks, about all the different places, counties, towns, cities, municipalities, unincorporated post offices, wherever I could think of a poem to do about all these places in Colorado. And because they're limericks, well, limericks have the habit of being a bit naughty or nasty or raunchy. This one is not so much any of that, it's just a little bit sick. So it's G-rated, but not the most pleasant G-rated, as we go to the Colorado town of, or actually it's a county, the county of Routt, in our Colorado Limerick of the Damned.
A limerick is a comic verse of 5 lines, in which lines 1, 2, and 5 will end with words that rhyme. And likewise, verses 3 and 4 also end with words that rhyme. So this is a limerick.
Colorado, indeed. So yes, our weekly Colorado Limerick of the Damned. And we go to a place I'd never heard of called Routt County. It's a county in northwestern Colorado. This is where, by the way, it's much better known, Steamboat or Steamboat Springs, they call it either one. That's in the county of Routt. First they had the gold rush there in the late 1800s, and then the first governor of the province was John Routt. So they named the place after him. It's got 2,600 square miles with tons of wilderness trails and state parks. It's got about 20,000 people overall in the county. So it's pretty spread out, but also, like so much of Colorado, pretty gorgeous and amazing. Well, until we get to this particular poem, our weekly Colorado Limerick of the Damned for Routt. A miserable sailor from Routt was riddled with cancer and gout. The last time he sailed, he wept and he wailed, and he flopped on the deck like a trout. Please send your comments and complaint letters to davesgoneby@aol.com, davesgoneby@aol.com. You can also post messages right on our Facebook page, the Dave's Gone By Facebook page, be it during the show or all week long. I read everything. I don't have necessarily a chance to reply or give a thumbs up or thumbs down, but I do appreciate every single message, whether it's by email, davesgoneby@aol.com, or posted here. Do please follow me on Twitter. Radio Dave 2 is the way to do that. Radio Dave and the number 2 is our Twitter handle. I don't post that much on Twitter, but sometimes I post something cute or reminders about the show. I certainly do that every week on Facebook. So again, tell everyone you know that this show exists, that you have to go on Facebook to watch it, but you don't have to be a Facebook friend or even have a Facebook account. It's open to the public. So it's not, I don't want to go on Facebook and give my information and they're monitoring and spying on me from Russia and China. No. You just go to the Dave's Gone By Facebook page, whoever you are, whenever you want. And if we're live on Saturday mornings, tune right in. You can also come back, scroll down, and watch this week's show, last week's show, last 2 or 3 years of programs just by staying on this Facebook page. If you, however, want to see it someplace else on the official Dave's Gone By place, you're going to want to go to davesgoneby.com, davesgoneby.com, and that is where all the archives reside. Not just the last 3 years of video, but all the programs that we did on terrestrial radio, on college radio, as audio, all the interviews, the skits, davesgoneby.com, free to access. You can stream or download. Remember, we've also got the last 15 years of our archives of video and audio at archive.org, and just audio the last 15 years at castbox.fm. Plus, we have a whole bunch of our stuff posted on YouTube. We just want to get it out there, disseminate it as much as possible. And let's see, it's about almost 25 after 12. Here in the Daverhood Eastern Time. So before we go, Pun, is there anything we haven't covered or should cover or,
I don't know, maybe talking about everything?
Everything? Well, yeah, we can take a couple more minutes to talk about everything.
I'm shopping because Antiala Loft is closing and I'm having a nervous breakdown.
I thought JCPenney's was closing.
Everybody's closing and it makes me upset.
Wow. So is it just the Loft closing or all of it?
May, I don't know.
Oh, okay. Wow. What else can we mention? I don't know.
I think it was an excellent show. I think Jeff was great. I think
it was great.
All your quiz players were on point. I think you some of the limericks were a little disturbing, but that I have to live with.
Yeah, kind of. It wasn't dirty. It was just horrible.
It was just offensive.
Yeah, basically, it was just like a terribly sad image of the guy flopping around on the deck.
Sometimes that's life, dude.
But thank you for reminding me to thank Jeff Goodman, who was just
what a great host, right? I mean,
I forgot what a good radio voice he has.
Yeah, I think since he lost the weight, he seems more full of life. He seems happier to me.
Oh my!
Yeah.
And I've seen him in person over the past couple of years.
Oh yeah.
So and I'm telling you, he looks wonderful. I hope we will get a chance to see him, not next week, but in 2 weeks on Dave's Gone By when we have him.
It's just because we had a little technical glitch, but I think it'll be nice to see him. And didn't he say he's going to show us his house?
Oh, if he is in Vegas at that point, he can maybe do a little. If he's on his phone, he can.
Like a video tour. Yeah.
That would be so fantastic.
With a laptop, he could go through.
And the thing is, you've never seen him thin, have you?
I've seen you. You showed me a picture of him.
I did show you
a picture with your phone, but it was by the bathroom in Penn Station. So not for nothing, but the bathrooms in Penn Station are not like the best place to take photos.
But I'll tell you this: before I took that photo, I went into the bathroom in Penn Station and licked it clean. Jesus, so it was sanitary at that point. Yeah. Anything else we want to talk about? Do you want to talk about Walter Mercado? We watched that documentary.
We talked about that last time, Bobby.
Did we have a channel? I thought we didn't get a chance to talk about it. No.
Next time. Save some for next time, Mikey. You always want you told me you got to keep the audience wanting more, right?
Well, we certainly know that he's going to be wanting more next week.
Yeah.
Potato is he's like, I need my news! Because until there's a Potato channel.
Just tell them to go listen to the Radiator like they like to do. They like that.
That's right. We live in a place. it's a lovely old house that we live in here. But it's kind of funny. This is absolutely true. In order to take a hot shower, there's no separate hot water heater. We've got a boiler in this house where I'm living in my folks' house on Long Island. And their boiler, it's oil heat, which costs a little bit. And it heats the house, it does. But the boiler's from like 1930 or something like that. It's an 80-year-old boiler.
No, the boiler's too small for the house.
Oh, is that also
When
the problem?
when they expanded the house, they should have gotten a bigger boiler.
Wow.
Yeah.
Never occurred to me. Because they made the house a little bigger for various reasons years ago. And they were still using this. They were still using this clunky old, but, they keep it going, this boiler. But the problem is, if you want a hot shower, you have to literally turn up the boiler.
Turn up the boiler.
You have to make sure there's water in this test tube thing.
It's embarrassing because you have to ask everyone not to use water. It's just shameful to me. It's embarrassing.
How's it shameful? You just want to take a shower.
You gotta go around announcing you're bathing. I mean, it's just like you just want to go bathe and that's it.
Well, but most of the time you can't, because if you go into a shower, you just turn up. If you just decide, hey, I'm going to go into the shower, take a hot shower, very likely you can get in there and get about 45 seconds of heat. And then it starts getting lukewarm and sometimes downright cold, and you're just sitting there in a cold shower. So you've gotta, or standing there in a cold shower. So you actually have to, no matter what time of year, you have to go down and turn up the thermostat to make sure that the boiler kicks on, which also means that you're sending heat into the house.
Yes.
So, like past few weeks, it's 90 degrees outside. It's 70s in or really, unless you have the air conditioner on, it goes up to like 78, 79
Correct.
in the house. And now you've got to go downstairs and turn up the boiler to 84 in order for the heat to kick on, so it boils the water.
We don't need a Wi-Fi extender. We need a boiler.
We need a boiler extender. That's what we need. We need someone with a tea kettle pouring it into the pipes or something. And then you've got to wait. You've got to wait about 5-10 minutes for the boiler to kick on.
Sure nobody in the house or the block flushes the toilet.
That's everybody. That's everybody when you can't flush a toilet when the shower's going. But it's just this wonderful thing that you're actually in the middle of the summer when you're trying to pull shades down to keep the sun out and you've got the air conditioners on, that you're sending heat through the radiators into the rooms just so you can take a hot shower. It's quite marvelous. And then the second you're finished, you don't have this chance to kind of like, oh, I'm getting out of the shower. I'm gonna, get the wax out.
Yell for someone. Fix the heat.
Yeah. You can't just kind of have a mellow, relaxing moment, toweling off, getting the wax from your ears, getting your hair dry, and just, because showers tend to be relaxing.
No.
But it's more like, oh crap, I've got to run downstairs and turn down the heat because the room's gonna fog up. How did we get on that? How did we get on that? The old house, the boiler, the shower.
Pajamas.
Yeah.
Your Bahamas, your mama, your papa.
Well, anyway, that's our little story here of living on Long Island with an old oil burner thing. That was one of the nice things when we were in Colorado. We lived in a little townhouse and we had gas heat, which I have always been afraid of in my youth and teens and 20s and 30s. Gas, oh my God, yeah, it might be cheaper, yeah, it might not smell bad, but you light a match. Didn't happen. It was fine. It was great. We lived with gas, and you could take a shower when and however you wanted to. I think our stove was electric back there.
Where, in Long Island, it was gas?
No, in Colorado.
Electric.
Yeah. Anywho, what else? What else is there to talk about? You said everything, which is kind of a wide...
I think we talked about everything.
I think we did.
There's anything left
to mention. So, I will thank again Jeff Goodman for being in the Daverhood. I will thank Potato, thank Chicken, thank that marvelous lady over there. Her name is Joyce.
Me?
Her.
Usually you're telling me bad stuff and humiliating me.
I am not.
Yes, you are.
No, I'm not.
Yes, you are.
Oh, well. I do love her a whole bunch. Don't tell anybody, but I do love that woman that I'm married to. Her name is Joyce, and she helps me so much with the show and so much all week long as well.
Check if there's any watch party hootenanny stuff going.
I mean, what?
Oh, Fred said missed most of the show. We'll list later in the week. Give me the website to put where you can do it. TotalTheater.com?
No. DavesGoneBy.com is the home of all the archives. And also, you should know that if you're on the Facebook page, you can literally 5 minutes after the show's over, it's automatically kind of archived unless I delete it right here on Facebook.
Oh, wait a second. Give me a second.
Okay, yeah. And by the way, thanks for everybody tuning in. Cousin Jeff and Cynthia, who did really, really well on the Today Yesterday quiz. Our friends Friendy.
I got a link it. Hold on.
All the marvelous people, Warhol and stage manager Bill. And sorry if I'm forgetting so many. If I just say Richard and David, you know, there was a Zoe in there somewhere. And let us not forget there was a moose. We had moose watching earlier in the show.
Isn't there a thing saying the moose is the
moose? I should just get him on the phone, because then it'd be a moose call.
I gotta post this. Hold on.
I know. Honestly,
just did it for me. Look.
What did you do? Oh, yay! Yay!
And somebody just joined a second ago.
Oh well, welcome. We are leaving the Daverhood at the moment. You know that fella Moose though. He's really got it going on. He's got flash. He's got sizzle. He's styling Moose. Yeah. I may have to go out on that one. Anyway, davesgoneby.com is the website. Radio Dave 2 is the Twitter. Thank you, everybody. Thank you to my wife. Next week, Willie Nile in the Daverhood. 2 weeks, Jeff Goodman comes back. It's always a fun time every Saturday from 9 until noon or thereabouts on Dave's Gone By live on Facebook and then archived at davesgoneby.com. Until then, stay healthy wherever you are. Try and enjoy the summer and gone by.
Days gone by, days gone by, days gone by.
Jupiter Pluvius and away.